All right, today we're going to talk about how we can find out and how much we can find out and what it takes to get there. So first we have to decide how much do we want to find out. So let's say in this case, I want to find out at a level of 7. Okay, so I find that level on my graph and I come horizontally to my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm going to come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. That there is going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out. See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out. So I hope this lesson is helpful. Thank you.
You speak as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And our like sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
Good morning, come on in. Coffee's good, fresh and hot. There's a waffle in the baker, on the grill we're making bacon. You're always welcome back.
Charge! Hey, what is up, all you fine people? Welcome to the Speakeasy Waffle Lodge. You know, we haven't had waffles in a long time, and it came to my attention, and I thought we must have waffles forthwith. Let's see who we've got here in the chat. We've got some fine channel members and some fine folks up in here. We've got Stephen Rockwood drawing. Hail to you, my brother, the Alpha, the Omega. There is no other Stephen Rockwood drawing. We've got the legend Aldous on the farm just off Orwell Lane. I bow to you, my brother in Pulp. It is great to see you. And, of course, the professor and winner this evening over on Bancroft's channel, Antoine Dennison. It is great to see you, and thank you, Stephen Rockwood, for dropping links to both battlebrickroad.com and the Lucent. That is where you want to go, folks. The Lucent Painted Death. Make it happen. Of course, Cyberfrog 3 is at $250,000. Has it actually happened? It is insane in such a short time. And yes, indeed, 6 days left on Nosfero, the Crypt Walker, guys. Be there or be rectangular. It is going to be a blast. The book looks great. I was doing, some work on different things. I'm going to be putting up the bookmarks and trading cards, or the bookmark and trading cards, original artwork, up on the site, in the next day or two. But I have not been streaming for a little bit, so I wanted to get back into things and show you guys what I've been working on. Some of you guys may be aware of this, but it's been kind of crazy up here in the Northeast. I've been trying to stay on top of things, and let me see if I can get that color a little bit better. There we go. I've been trying to stay up on top of things with streaming, but we have been getting a lot of smoke from the wildfire from our neighbors to the north, and it's been really crazy here. So things have not been as great. I love it. Cheers, Stephen Rockwood. I love seeing all of you guys here in the chat. But yeah, it's been crazy. So I basically got to this very zen nirvana place I've been trying to get to, which is I didn't realize it was going to be such a big thing. But once I locked in the date in my mind that the campaign is closing on the 13th, I felt this pressure, like there was, or be lifted. Like it was finally, there was an end date. Do you know what I mean? I was like, this is done. I'm closing this campaign. Because I'm one of those people to where I look to things, I look to things to have some kind of meaning for me, whatever that is about. I haven't figured it completely out. But as I mentioned on Michael Bancroft's show today, July 13th, 2 years ago on July 13th, I handed in my letter of resignation over at the college I was teaching at for reasons you guys know. It was DEI, insanity, and all of that kind of stuff. And it just felt right because it's sort of where the journey is. Fat Samurai, it is great to see you. Shadowhawk Talks. And Arthur Line, it is great to see you, my friend. Yes, indeed. And, when you got friends like Michael Bancroft, it's great to hang out with them because he's almost at 45K. And speaking of the Dark Lord of the Sith, here we go. There he is. What's up, my brother?
we got to stop, meeting up like this, just out of the blue.
Yeah, we do, man. We got to start. We got to meet even more like this.
That is true. Yeah, I had fun today. That was good.
Yeah, we're having a good time lately. I feel like things have gotten out of hand in a good way. Let me see here. I'm going to
in the best possible way.
Absolutely right. I'm going to adjust this so I can put myself over
you can
here.
Move over where I am.
That's exactly right. It feels better when it's like that, But yeah, man, it's crazy. I am so excited about Painted Death. I can't even tell you, man. That has been just, I knew it, but I totally knew it, man. I never doubted for a minute, but
you did tell me before I went live. You did tell me that we were hanging out. You were like, this is going to go well. Don't you worry about it.
I wasn't. I was just, because, you have those things where, I don't know, like there's been a lot of things that I've looked at and I've just sort of reasoned out and I said, well, this should go, and lots of love here. Hail Bancroft, indeed.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, man. I never thought, I couldn't conceive of it not going well for a couple of reasons. Although, again, every day I wake up and I see a new insane thing. I go, well, this is, but it's, I looked at it. It's like the quality of the book, the work you've been doing promoting it. And I think your website just looks dynamite, man. It was just, it was a no-brainer for me. Oh my gosh. What are you working on?
I'm compiling all of the winners of the giveaways I've been doing into a proper spreadsheet. Because at the moment it was just a like a little text file, and I
Yeah.
could see that could get out of hand fast. So I've got a proper spreadsheet now, so I can make sure I don't give away anything twice.
Yeah.
That I don't have two of, and get everyone, if they were backers, get their backer numbers in there, and if not, get their addresses there so I can ship our stuff out. But busy work. I will be getting onto another page of coloring in a bit, but I have to do this, and then I have to get the sketch cards ready for tomorrow.
Isn't that crazy?
For the new sketch cards that are coming up. Did you see that Rod is painting me a card? A watercolor card? Rod Looper, yeah.
Oh, is that your whore's name? No.
The other guy painting stuff for me. I've been stepping out on you.
Oh my God. Oh Lord. No, dude, his stuff is sick, and it's perfect, man. It's so compatible with the universe you're making. I love it, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna look good. And I was wondering, I'm sure it's gonna come out great. Maybe if the campaign still keeps going well, maybe there's a stretch goal in that for more characters, and I could do an actual trading card set or something with all the different characters and little bios and stuff like that.
Well, I've told you, I mean, seeing you do, so well on the Lucent website has made it, to me seem much more reasonable for me to launch on your website. So the Lucent.com is where you're going to be able to find all of my, I gotta get these guys in here. Unexpected, but a welcome one indeed. We've got the Dark Lord of Boganity here, and making stuff happen. It's good to see you, Simply Green. How you doing, Voss? Yeah, I mean we're doing some of the most killer stuff in this space. Period. You got to give. I mean, how can anybody? I love what your the short you showed on your channel, because that's how I feel. I'm like, this is one of the best times to be making.
Yeah. Think back to stories that really just changed the game and what they were like. And now imagine that coming out of mainstream anything at the moment. The only place I can think of is video games and maybe some outside sort of, I love this TV show Arcane. That if you watch the documentary of how that was made, that wasn't some massive corporation. It was a small side company within a larger video game company, but it was really one guy's passion that they just pushed that boulder up a hill. But I wouldn't imagine it'd be Disney or Warner Brothers or any of those people. I'm really expecting the next big things out of the next couple of decades to come from independent creators, wherever they are.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they never have. So it's crazy to think that they would, like, has everything changed? Are corporations suddenly going to create
you're right.
things?
You're really right. Yeah.
The next big thing is what creates the corporation. We've got it backwards right now.
So true.
My man Timmy Mello in the chat, and the groomsman.
And that's a great point. Let me write that down, because I'm going to do a short about that. Yeah.
Well, hey, next time you do a short, feel free to include artwork from Camel Moon in there. I mean, I don't want to be a dick. Did that sound sincere? No, but it's like, oh my gosh. Lordy B. Antoine Dennison. Yeah, Disney can't seem to get their shit together these days. Well, and this is the crazy thing about business in terms of, and I mean this I'm not speaking like, from whatever. Yeah, Ripa Inc. Indeed, man. The thing about it is that you would think when you're managing that much money, you understand the importance of making products people want, especially basically Bob Iger when he came into Disney. It's like being born on third base and not knowing how to steal home. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely effing embarrassing. We are essentially having to, like, you know, we've got an empty field, maybe even trees on it. We're clearing the trees, we're leveling the ground, and then we're like, we're going to put some bases down. Like, we're building this from the ground up. These guys have a massive stadium, and they're bulldozing it down. It's nuts.
Yeah.
You know? Fucking lunatics. Sorry, this is my channel. We're going to drop some F-bombs tonight. It's late. Thank you so much, Fat Samurai. Much appreciated. You know? Let's get it on. You know? Oh my God, happy memories of oh my gosh, when my kids were down visiting family in the South, they passed a Waffle House, and my daughter took a picture of it and sent me a picture of the place I used to go to, or one of the, you know, in the chain of places I went to, and I was like, respect.
That's something I would like to do when I'm in the States, is go to a diner, if they even exist, like how I see them on TV or movies, you know, because we don't really have that here.
Yeah,
we have kind of more hipster cafes and stuff, but
yep,
I would just like to go to a regular diner like I see in a Tarantino movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, man. It's like there you go, man. I love seeing it. Yeah, absolutely. Aldous, congratulations. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to Aldous' channel, please do check it out. Aldous, I think you're a mod, so drop links to your channel in the chat, by the way. But yeah, I mean, it's a crazy thing, because when you think about it, to me, when I was putting together Nosfero, I was like, this first book, I want to give you as much plot and as much, like, this is, you know, I looked at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 as an example of, you knew what was going on by the end of that book. That's the approach that I'm taking. But either way, you've got to build these things out. And when I look at the Lucent, it just felt like it always existed. You know, when I saw it, like, it was just like, it's like you pulled it out of the air. And that's kind of what we're always trying to do. And that's that's the blast of this stuff, man. Yeah, take Bancroft to Waffle House. I don't know if he'd come back to the States if I did that, but yeah, you never know.
Mel's very worried that I'm going to come back fat.
Well, you know what I do? Do you want some advice?
Yeah.
Leave fat. Then, yeah. Holy cow, man. Yeah, the smart ones know exactly what they're doing in terms of injecting ideology. The useful idiots spy the line that the haters are a vocal minority. Yeah, you know what's interesting about that is Razorfist used this term, and I really dig it, which was confession by projection. Everything they say, and granted, that was also, I think, what Vox Day said in the Social Justice Warriors Always Lie book, which is they always project. And I think they say, they're just a loud minority. And it's like, you're just a loud minority. Like, you pretty much figure out what they're about from that. Yeah, check out the epitome of Made in the USA from Michael Bancroft to the Lucent comic. Thank you, Groomsman.
Yes, exactly.
Groomsman knows what's up. Fatcroft. Yeah, that's right. That's how I like to keep them, you know? I like a little meat on my Bancroft.
Well, I was Fatcroft. I was.
I know.
I was... How much more was I? I was 17 kilos heavier at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Probably in about 2020. So yeah, you're seeing less of me now than you ever did before.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's so crazy. Like, you know, you dream of, like, I'm gonna come here and there's, you know, diners or whatever, and I try to imagine it. Because when I think about going to Australia, I imagine every woman is wearing the Linda swimsuit. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I know.
Go down, buy some milk. There they are. The Legion.
The greatest moment ever was when you told me after the stream, when I showed you that trailer, so did you guys have fun from Mel? That was glorious.
She always seems to find those moments in the stream too. She's like, I wasn't watching, and then I look in, and yeah, you're checking out some women.
Yeah, well, we were not checking out. They weren't for sale. We were. Oh, I see what you're saying, Mike. It's great to see you. We were at the register checking out. You can't talk about kilos when you come to America unless you're talking about drugs. There's a warning for you, Michael, from my friend the groomsman. Do not speak of things in kilos. They will think you're talking about, the naughty salts. Yeah,
Yeah.
they will absolutely be confused. Yeah, it's craziness. But oh my gosh, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to I feel like I don't know, like I was talking to my wife about it. There's different stages of all of these campaigns. And this is a new one for me in terms of a comic book, just to have it just sitting there and flipping through the thing. It's crazy. Just going over things with a fine-tooth comb and trying to make sure, everything is where it is, but it's kind of past all that now. Now I'm just looking at it and, honing it. Where are the waffles, guys? If you're a channel member, by the way, click those, put some waffles in the chat. Actually, I think waffles are an emoji anyway, but put them in the chat, guys. But yeah, waffles are out there. Son of Liberty Radio, I'm going to get some waffles to your table. Let me know what table number you're at and we'll get it to you. Oh my Lord. It's like the good old days, Mike, when I was on your schedule. When I was on Aussie time. Holy
Best time to
Lord.
be on.
So how does the shift to promoting your own book feel right now?
I like it.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I think it's great,
It's
man.
energizing. I remember who was it? Was it Ethan? Ethan just was he was drawing Cyberfrog, so he didn't really have anything to talk about. So he's like, well, I'll just stream snipe and listen to Eric July.
Uh-huh.
And he was saying, oh, listen to Eric. He just talks about what he wants. He just talks about his ISOM and his Rippaverse. And,
Yep.
And he's like, that's the best. That's where you want to be. And then I remember I was listening to Ripper, and he was saying, I spent years just building an audience who were coming here to listen to what I have to say, no matter what really I'm talking about. If I want to talk about this, they'll be here to listen. And yeah, that's the gold standard where everyone wants to be at. I love talking about my own stuff. And I worry less and less about how many people turn up to listen, because now the shorts are going so well. So I feel like that's my outreach, and then the streams are where I can just do what I want to do. And yeah, it's been good. We had a great show today. I didn't know. I thought, we'll get Shanth painting in case we run out of things to talk about. An hour and a half in, I was like, I got to end the stream. I mean, we're half an hour over, and you hadn't even painted anything. So yeah, it was good.
Oh yeah. Well, I came on there once I saw the title card. I was like, we've got to talk about the 45K thing, because, like you, I'm one of those guys who just, I'm very task oriented when it comes to, gosh, I hate this light. I'm very task oriented when it comes to this stuff. And I want us to be, I want us to be moving the needle constantly. And speaking of which, I just realized I'm in StreamYard. Stephen Rockwood. Yeah. Shanth can yak. That's because Shanth is lazy. All right, brother. Let's see. Stephen Rockwood says, yeah, Shanth can yak. The groomsman says, that's because Shanth is lazy. Yeah, exactly. There we go. Speaking of promotion, Nosfero is almost closing. Grab it now. Thank you, brother. And wheel in those waffles. I'm ready to binge. Amen. Fat Samurai, the groomsman. Waffles are happening, man. I love seeing it. Good, nice counter option to ballers. Are they still going? Holy cow. Let me see here. Wheel in those waffles. I'm ready to binge. Dr. Claw from that one awful Inspector Gadget. Yes, indeed, movie. Gosh, you gotta love waffles. But yeah, that Inspector Gadget movie. Was that the one with Matthew Broderick, I think? Timothy Fitzgerald. A good chunk of Rippa's ISOM buyers are pretty open about only buying ISOM because they are Rippa fans. A bunch aren't comic fans and haven't read it. Possibly. Yeah, I think that's another hurdle. You're right. What's the next book going to be, Shanth? I heard you were talking about animation, but not about new books. Well, no, I'm always playing around with animation, but that's not going to get in the way of the next thing I do. I'm going to do, I'm probably going to do something with some of the work I already have, but I do have a new idea for a project that I've been working on. If anybody wants to see the sketch, just let me know. And I will show you guys one of the things I've been up to. But yeah, but I don't want to say this is the next thing, because I heard, I think it was the director of Mad Max said this once when they said, what are you going to do for your next movie? And he goes, I feel like I'm a woman who just delivered a baby, and you're asking me about my next kid. And that's how I feel, man. You know, it's craziness. Yeah. Speaking of the chat, we always try to add to the entertainment. You do, Antoine Dennison, no doubt. Yeah, let's see it. Please show the sketch. I don't want to see it. The groomsman says he doesn't want to see it, so we're not going to look at it. I'm sorry, guys. It's the groomsman. You know, he said he doesn't want to see the sketch of this idea.
Screw you guys.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Now the only way I'll show it is if he pops in here. I sent him the link, so, you know, I'm just going to see. That's kind of where it's at. We had a really interesting conversation today. I was on full. I was not being an asshole. I was being the whole ass today. I said, let's have some fun, kids. And yeah, oh well. I hope Ripa has Chuck Dixon help him with his writing, the storytelling, and Item 1 was bootylicious. There you go. Let's see here. Happens. Yes, it does. It happens. Shanth only knows how to make kids 2 at a time. That's totally true, man. Now, that was a hell of an ultrasound, groomsman. That was a hell of an ultrasound. I was like, oh, fair enough. You know, is it a boy or a girl? It's both. Fair enough. Let's just do this thing. Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, they're good kids. Bless their hearts. But their father is nuts. That's what I said.
That's all right.
Yeah, he's a madman. But yeah, I started working on this idea that I came up with in 2017. Yeah, 1 child per testicle. I don't know if that's how it works, man, but yeah, I don't shoot trap, I shoot skeet. You know, you fire those 2 off and I'll get them both. Shanth Enjeti art, PTP talked about making more Pulp character tie-ins in comics after Zorro. I'd love to see a painted Tarzan cover by you. Yeah, I'd love to do one. I love Tarzan, man. Tarzan is I like Tarzan more than I like Conan because, as you guys know from my icon, I love apes. I love painting apes, and I love, you know, that idea of, you know, dense.
I love ape.
Fist fights. Yeah, I love ape. Now, are you saying that because you really love ape, or is it because
I love ape? I love ape.
God, you gotta love it, man. At an EST, I figure early CG will be about 10 years. Agreed. Yeah, at an estimate, I figure early CG will be 10 years or so. So give it another 5 years and see what the output is like. Yeah, absolutely right. Antoine Dennison, I honestly thought that was how that worked when I was younger. Jeez, that's crazy. Yeah, we don't shoot both barrels, kids. It's an alternating thing.
I got 2 guns, 1 for each of you.
Yeah. I've got 2 guns, 1 for each of you. My favorite one is proceed, sir. It's amazing.
I say that to Mel every time because she cuts my hair. Proceed, sir.
Yeah, I say I cut my hair and I cut my son's hair. So I learned how to cut my own hair with 2 mirrors when I was a kid. So it's been what I do. It's messed up. I can actually do a fade now. So I'm like, it's just nuts. But I was saying to my son, I showed it to him. My favorite line of that movie is, "Johnny, I apologize. I forgot you were there. You may go now." It's just legendary, man. Yep. That's right. That's something, Antoine. I won't read that, but I love Pulp characters as much as anyone, if not more so. However, we need new characters, properties, not retreads of pre-existing character concepts. Yeah, I think the bar in many ways it's equally high for both. And for me, I just want to create stuff fresh for me personally. But it's you know, if whatever it takes to get a good book out there, you guys know that's what people are after. When I was young, we got that one. Antoine Dennis and the Crimston's cracking up. Kilmer says Russell essentially directed Tombstone. I've heard that too. Yeah, I heard things went a little pear-shaped on that flick. And he had to do a lot of heavy lifting for that, which is crazy to think about. It's a great film. Yeah, man. He's awesome. Love Kurt Russell. He's the Walt's last words were Kurt Russell. Just fucking crazy. I don't know what they were working on at the Disney lot, but he was an actor at Walt Disney Studios. And you know, and Kurt Russell gets asked about that all the time. But he had a great Kurt Russell had a great story about Charles Bronson, which I had no idea about. But for his birthday, I forget what it was, but I think the story was Charles Bronson for his birthday got him a skateboard. Kurt Russell when he was a kid, and they were working on the set. And
how old was Kurt Russell?
Gosh, he must have been like 12 or 13 or something. He was young, at that time. He's a child actor. And someone could probably find it for me. And so Kurt Russell, or maybe it wasn't a skateboard at first. I can't remember what it was exactly. But for his birthday, he got Kurt Russell this little present. And Kurt Russell got Bronson a present for his birthday. And he looked at it, opened it up, looked at Kurt Russell, and walked away, went into his trailer. And Kurt Russell was like, "What the hell? Like, what was that about?" And then someone came out and said, "He'd like to see you, Kurt." And he came in there and he said, and Bronson had almost like a tear in his eye and said that nobody had ever really gotten him anything for his birthday as a kid. Aww. And so for Kurt Russell's birthday, he bought them both. He bought Kurt and himself a skateboard because Kurt loves skateboarding, so they could skateboard around the lot together. And one day, Kurt Russell got stopped by somebody on the lot, said that you can't be skating on this lot. And Kurt was like, told Charles Bronson about it, and they went to go see the studio head. And Bronson just walked in, apparently with Kurt, and says, "Yeah, someone told Kurt he can't skateboard on the lot. And I was just coming here to let you know that we're going to be skateboarding on the lot." Freaking beautiful, man. I love the class of those guys. They were cut from a different cloth.
Time.
Yep. That's what we got to do. We got to show people what work ethic is, man. We do so much work. I know you know this. Every single day. And I would rather work I like to, if I can work and talk about some of the silliness going on, I don't mind it. I watch a lot. I was watching Clownfish TV today. I love Valiant Renegade and all those guys because I love learning about the financial behind the scenes from people like Mexican Iron Man, who are accountants. Channel member, Sumo Thori, it is great to see you, my friend. I love that stuff. And yeah, hail to the chat indeed. But I love that kind of stuff. And I think sometimes that it's great, but I really love, as you were saying, what Eric does, where it's like, let's talk about our own stuff. That's the only way we're going to get the word out, man. Mo Biggs in the house. Great to see you, Mo Biggs.
Yo.
How you doing? Legend. Mo Biggs.
And Sumo. The two of them.
And Sumo. Where's Sumo? Oh, there we go. Yeah, Sumo. I just said hi. Legend, of course. I doff my cap, gentlemen. That's how that goes. But yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, my whole idea for the stuff I want to do is everything I'm doing going forward. So there'll probably be an art book. There's going to be a art only edition of Nosfero. I don't know if that's going to be the very next thing I do, where it's just the art, raw with nothing, on it. So we'll see. But one of the things, hail Shanth Bancroft, says Mo Biggs. Hail to you. Hail Phil, of course. Great to see you, Phil. Yeah, chat got bigger with Mo Biggs. That's right. And Sumo Thori, that's right, it did. Got some legends in here. So this idea that I'm working on is very Lovecraftian, and it's something I may do in black and white. I haven't completely figured it out yet, but I'll just show you guys a quick glimpse of it, just so you guys can see. I'm doing this thing in black and white small because I don't know what it's going to be, but I have to work on art for nothing sometimes, or art that's just an exploration of something while I work on intensely detailed stuff. It's just the way it is. So this right here is a look at one of the things I'm messing around with right now. So I'm just sketching this down on gray board, and you can kind of get a sense of what it's about. I don't know if this thing's auto-focusing on. Let me just see if it's focusing or not. There we go. You get a little sense of it right there. But yeah, so these are the kinds of things I do you know, when I'm playing around and trying to figure out like what's the next thing going to be. But everything ties back into this kind of universe, and this world I'm building, which is, I want to be able to do a lot of different kinds of stories, do shorter projects, more playful projects. But right now, I mean, it's all about the horror genre, and Nosfero is where
I
my
can't
mind
imagine
is
you
at the moment.
doing shorter projects. So everything you do is like super intense.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be intense, man. But it's like, a Lovecraftian fairy tale. It ties. If you guys have, I do not want to spoil what it's about, but I came up with this thing in 2017, and the best way I could describe it: Leg Kick One, it's great to see you, man. Aviator Surge, it's great to see you, my friend. How you doing? Hey, Shanth and Mike, that's right. Nice, Shanth Enjeti. Way to give me nightmares. Yeah. So, I live in New England. I live in the same state. As H.P. Lovecraft, I went to college. The artist from Call of Cthulhu, or Thulu, was going to, like, all these little tie-ins. And I came up with this Lovecraft idea that's H.P. Lovecraft meets Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meets Ninja Scroll that I want to do. And so, yeah, it's three mice. They're not blind, but yeah, or three rats, I should say. But yeah, it's going to be just a really cool... I'll tell Michael this stuff after stream if I can.
He's keeping it very close to the chest. But that's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, because everything go ahead. Sorry.
You still have Nosfero to fulfill, so you know you still got to focus on that. So not completely out of your life yet.
Well, here's what's so crazy about it, right? Is that the most frustrating thing about what I do with my work, for me anyway, is what I do when I'm working is what I do to relax. So I'll get burnt out from doing from working like after 8 hours, and I will go and draw and paint to relax, or I'll animate to relax, or I'll do any number of things. Like you saw, I cut a trailer to play at the start of my streams for Cyberfrog 3. And I built out a Cyberfrog 3 logo for it. And then, Ethan was like, "Can you send me a PNG of that logo?" And that's the thumbnail for his stream he did tonight, is the Cyberfrog 3 logo I did a couple hours before. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be fun. But the priority right now is it's like this. For me, everything is about this Lovecraft sort of horror world that I love, because I just feel incredibly connected to it, man. I mean, that's really what it's about. Yeah. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is just, I want to make fun stuff that we get excited about, because at the end of the day, which is, this is sort of where I live. This is the kind of place that it's like, how do I make these worlds that people can connect with, and how do I put this stuff out there? I love painting pages of books in a book. It's one of my favorite things, it's like, and that's Lovecraft's based on Lovecraft's drawing of Thulu that he himself did.
Now, what's going on the cover of that book? It looks like this thing is kind of like poking out of it with the... It's trippy.
Yeah, well, you can put together a lot in this one spread right here. You can put together a lot of
eyeballs,
part of the story right there.
Mist and floating, and this is very Dali-esque.
This is the most, like, I was thinking about this, and I was like, this is the most Lovecraftian spread in the book. Like, this is just, and I thought, the book needed it, which is why I put some extra time into and extra pages in to do this.
You must have depleted your stores of LSD to complete this one.
I'm going to tell you this right now. This is the crazy thing. I find the way that people who have internal monologues and people who view things logically and write them out, I imagine that's how they think when they see this, if that makes sense. Like, to me, it's like whatever power you don't have is a superpower to you. Do you know what I mean? It's weird, to describe. So to me, I look at like my wife. I always say that my wife and she's my Watson, if that makes sense. And what nobody ever gets when they're reading Sherlock Holmes is that Watson is the superpowered one to Holmes. Because he's looking for a roommate, and he's like, I'm nuts, can you help me? I canceled my book about a man who undergoes experimental surgery to extend his forehead so his third eye can see across space and time. It was going to be called The Great God Pancroft. Understood. Jim Cox in the house. Channel member Jim Cox.
I want to read
Much
that
love,
story.
brother. Yeah, we all want to read that story, man. Yeah. Antoine Dennison, the gay book, he and Dave Williams fell out. Truth, Justice, American Way. That's right. Yeah. That's shipping now, I believe. Gabe is so funny. He sent me he's printing up these t-shirts, and they're great. One of them is the anti-socialist social club, but he sent me and Jericho Green. He sent us 3 shirts. He's like, what size are you? It's freaking ridiculous. My God, man. Yeah. Good morning, Ice Queen. It's great to see you. Yes, indeed. So who finished it? Gabe did everything. Let's see here. Hail, Antoine Dennison. Actually, he did bring in a colorist, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, and oh gosh, yeah, he's got some cool stuff he's waiting to announce with his project. I know a lot of you guys know Beef Law, and another big thing that's going to be happening soon. So yeah, shout out to my brother Gabe. Hey, Sumo, hope you are good.
T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
I've already had Cecil and Jake Hyper Wizard saying they want one of the T-shirts that I'll be taking to Comic Con. So I've already sold 2, sort of, which is encouraging.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Absolutely. What do you call it? But no, it's one of the things for me about the shirt thing is, it seems to me like, again, mailing a shirt to me once you're in the States doesn't seem like it's a lot of work. I mean, if I really break it down, it's like putting Camel Moon's art in a short, in a sense,
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
It's really not asking a lot.
Yeah. And I mean, I saw that short and I thought it before Camel even typed it, and I was like, I wonder how Bancroft spells friendship, and can he, like, these are the things that really wear on me, but let's see here. Where is it? I want to bring this up because we have to talk about this, man. We have to talk about this. Where the hell is it? Oh man. And I tell you what, for folks, as our president says, for folks in the chat, let's talk about something. Let's talk about something very important here. See if I can pull this off. I haven't used StreamYard in ages here. Let's talk about this a little bit, cats and kittens. Let's talk about waffles, but let's also talk about campaigns. We have got this book, which just launched 5 minutes ago, as far as I'm concerned.
Wow, it's going amazing.
Dangerously close, dare I say, to
the numbers
50K. Yeah. Craziness. See if I feel like I refreshed it. Did I refresh it? Huh, that's weird. I thought it was at
$318 away. Actually, $317 and
it's so close.
83 cents. Don't forget the 83 cents. Yeah, that's pretty close, huh?
Yeah. We're so close.
Eric Weathers had to go to bed, not knowing if his children would be able to eat tomorrow. But maybe maybe we can help him out.
That's what it's about, man. 553 backers. Look at that. That's a thing of beauty.
Crazy.
It is, man. It's
yeah,
outstanding. Guys,
I don't know how long it took to get that many backers the first time round, but it wasn't 2 weeks. So
overnight success. We've said it for years. We've said it for years, Michael. You're an overnight success. I mean, we've talked about how insane all of this stuff is, and how like we're building it from scratch. But I look at people, it's going to be another Eric Weathers payday. But I look at the stuff that we're doing and the things that we're building from scratch. And if you had told me half the things that have happened were going to happen, I wouldn't have believed you when I launched my book. And I can't help but think that, your second book is in direct relationship to all the work you did with the first book, people connecting with it, and you building this thing. You've been, people talk about you as being an ambassador, but I think, it's very, very true. You're the kind of person that people want to, you want to put out there. It's like open house. Get the sane professors out there to talk to the students and parents.
Groomsman says, can I just convert it to AUD and call it a night? Well, I mean, if I were to be comparing like to like Indiegogo to my site, we technically passed 50,000, but I'm going off what's written on the screen there.
Yeah.
Which is yes, I think it's 41,300 if we were to include shipping. The dollar dues on that is staggering.
I can't imagine.
73,000. Which is pretty nuts. Which is it's a fun amount of money to receive into your bank account. I mean, you just got to like put it there. You don't get to do anything with it, but it's nice to look at.
Listen, when your campaign does that well, and I'm not trying to tell you how to run things in your life, okay, man, but you look that woman dead in the eye and you say, I'm getting huge. You understand? I'm coming back. She's going to be waiting at the jetway. They're going to wheel you down to the jetway. It's going to be great, man. Holy cow. No, that's awesome, dude. I'm very excited, man. I'm excited about the campaign. It's nuts. And I tell you, it is such a, I said to Lauren, I go, we cannot believe, what a relief it is to see this book, because there's a lot that went into making Nosfero. There was a ton. I think the last time I did comic book pages was when I did a short story in 2009, I think it was, for Len Wein. He created Swamp Thing and Wolverine. And I got brought on. It was the book that Vaughn showed, Flash Gordon short story for the 75th anniversary. And it was just one of those things to where my wife's intro to the book, I was thinking about asking her to do the intro. And then she said, I think, I'd like to do the intro. And I said, are you serious? And she's like, kind of. And I go, well, let's do it. But she wrote an intro that was freaking amazingly, it was wonderful, but to me, it's like getting punched. I'd rather be shot than complimented. But she wrote about, my history in comics and illustration. And she's like, the first thing this guy ever said to me, first thing I knew about him was, I'm going to be a comic book artist. That's the first thing I knew. And he has said now forever, yeah, I'm not going to do comics. I'm not doing this. And she's like, and I never have believed him. Basically, she was like, she's like, he just has to do that. He has to do.
Yeah, this. It is kind of in your blood. It's in your bones. And I didn't realize either. And it's funny because I had the same thought when I was a kid, and I did put it to the side.
Yeah.
But yeah, it comes back. It never quite goes away.
Yeah, you have to. I would say to anybody with art, with all of this stuff, don't, you shouldn't be, no one should do any of this stuff unless they absolutely have to, and I mean that in the truest sense. Like, everybody who has a job, which is almost, of course, all of our customers have a job and are doing something. You guys know, no matter what we do, it's all hard work. It's all hard work. So you better love it and have the discipline enough to do it, or you're going to be miserable. And hail Gary G, it's great to see you, my friend. And Courtney, it's great to see you here as well. For me, I don't know how to not make artwork. It was the comic book thing. I think that I think sometimes when you focus on doing something for a very, very long time and the conditions aren't right, and that was probably one of the things Lauren wrote that, you kind of just every now and again you go, oh, my wife is paying attention. Holy cow. She said, there was no Comicsgate, there was no Indiegogo, there was no crowdfunding back then. And, Shanth was trying to self-publish through Diamond, for God's sake, in the early 2000s, and self-publishing comics in Chattanooga in the middle of nowhere, bringing them in a backpack to comic book stores. Do you know what I mean? It's like I did my first pro job when I was 17 for some small indie, and Andy Smith actually did the cover on it. And, this stuff goes way, way back. And so what you're seeing right now is me, with Nosfero. It's like, what I can't even think about what I'm going to do next because I haven't fully processed Nosfero yet. And I'm really just, I'm the whole thing, every aspect of it. It's too big of an experience.
There was someone on Twitter who asked, is there anyone even making a living on crowdfunding comic books? Which is a really interesting question because there's lots of people making money, but making a living is a whole nother kettle of fish. And when you think about it, it's usually people who it's not just specifically on the comic alone. It's usually other stuff. Us specifically, it's more YouTube and or other things, art, commissions.
Well, sorry, what were you?
But the thing is, people sort of envision that you're just making a comic. No, that's only one part of it. Obviously, it's a massive part of it. But you really Ripper always phrases it like this. No, we started a company. We created a company, and that's a massive part of it. The actual infrastructure of going properly professional. Payroll, warehousing, marketing plans, all that sort of stuff. It's a massive undertaking, and the more successful you get, the more you have to consider this stuff. I have to make a company now.
Yep.
It's not really something I'd thought about, but now I have to. I don't have a choice anymore. So, with each step, you kind of you get closer to that sort of stuff, but it's so much to do. But it is, I think if you have that calling, that's the ultimate direction you're headed towards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting serious with it.
Yep, it's totally true. Yeah, you are the product. The product is the product. Absolutely right. Rini just made $200K on Fiendish and is still working a full-time day job. Yep, absolutely. I will tell you this too, and everybody's at a different phase, and I think this is happening for me at the right time. But my kids are going to be 18 in October, and I was working at 3 colleges when they were newborns that were in a triangle. One was 90 miles this way. One was 20 miles from my house, and the other one was 35 miles in an opposite direction. And I was just working in a massive triangle, hours and hours and hours on the road. 2 newborns, bottle feeding them when I came home till 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning, so Lauren could sleep, because you have to sleep in shifts with twins. I just tell people if I go back to my 20s and 30s, late 20s and 30s, I'll take the Pepsi challenge with anybody. I think I could match anybody for work and outwork most. I think that's why the missus is so, because, you see what I do and you see what I've been working on, whether it was like early on, like doing the Harry Potter trading card border stuff for that game, and for like one of my first jobs out of college, I've been, working in concept art. This thing I do, this painting thing, has pretty much gotten me, this and God have pretty much gotten me everything in life. You know what I mean? It's like I've had to paint my way out of tough situations. I've had to paint my way, through my life, and, to make things happen. And so I don't really have a choice. Like when people, it's a very strange thing to need to make artwork. I don't understand it fully. Like I don't. Like I see people who need to dance or play music or play sports, and I just go, I must be the same for them, but it's no one's going to paint horses in perspective. unless they're absolutely like people, sane people
Crazy
do not
people
do
do.
this. Yes, it's absolutely insane. Like if people look at me and someone looked at me and they were looking at the comic book and I was flipping through the PDF of it with somebody and they were like, "This is insane," and I go, "Yeah, it is." You know, like it is. It's absolutely crazy. To do a fully painted comic book is insane. It's like, yep. Absolutely. I think you're 100% on the green. Another 5 years, I think CG distribution will be a bit further along, all in good time. Yeah, absolutely. One time, Shanth painted his way out of a knife fight for cocaine. True story. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's how it goes. Yeah, I actually, I was on a stream, the other night with Gabe and Jericho. And a lot of people don't know this, but it was. Let me see if I can find it here. This is my double impact camera. Let me see if I can show you guys what kind of shape I was in on that stream. Is this the one? Yeah, it was rough.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was pretty. It's tough, you know.
What happened?
But sometimes, you know, guys, you got to go for it in this world. You know, you got to make things happen, and that's what happened. You know. I'm something of an independent creator myself, but instead of Marvel and DC, I have to compete with Big Pharma. Mo Biggs. Oh, I love it, Mo Biggs. Timothy Fitzgerald, damn Shanth, I think we're about the same age, and my daughter turns 7 in October. I wish I had gotten in that earlier start. The groomsman, what the hell was that picture? Yeah. But no, I mean, I became my twins were born when I was 29, and I think it was I guess it was 2 weeks before their first. I was in grad school and working there and teaching at 2 colleges. My appendix ruptured and I almost died from sepsis because it took them 15 hours to get me into the operating room. So I was just getting pummeled, and I was working on a comic book at the time. I think that Jimmy Reyes was inking. So like there's all these things people don't know. I'm telling you, it's the small world. And you know, I remember saying after that job, that was before the Flash Gordon job, I was like, is comics trying to, you know, like comics broke me. Oh God. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't copywritten, I would be playing Justin Timberlake's Cry Me a River. Even driving myself to the hospital while working on a triple cover artwork piece that I was doing for that, I would never describe that comics or anything as breaking me. That is the most bitch ass thing I've ever heard in my life. People should be ashamed of typing that hashtag. I'm sorry. Did comics come to your house, burn it down, and kill a family member? It's like, get the fuck out of here. You don't know what broke is, man. That's right. Shout out, Courtney. God bless. Yeah, man. It's like, that's how it is, you know? Yeah, comics woke me. Yeah, that's definitely correct. Yeah. But I look at comics and I go, because, you know, you like The Matrix, I've been told, Michael.
Mm-hmm. It's been said once or twice before.
Do not try to bend the comics. It's impossible.
That's how I talk to Clark.
That's
right. Do not bend my comics.
Yeah. What you will find is it's not the comics that bends, but yourself. Comics can't break you if you don't give comics that power over you. Serve the work. You know what I mean? It's like you need life to break you. And even then, it just go, man. Just keep going. Shanth Enjeti, thank you for streaming at my hour. Absolutely, Shitbird Militia. It is great to see you, my dear friend and channel member. Antoine Dennison Chandler says they were broke before comics. Yeah, comics broke me isn't copyright ad soy boy. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's nuts, man. It was hilarious the way so many of those people described situations that they had gotten themselves into willingly, were forced to do any of the things that, quote, broke them. Yeah, guys, I went to India and saw poverty. I see that kind of thing. Like, I remember coming back to America and going through customs after seeing some really intense poverty in India. And I the only thing I've ever thought ever since was a kid and I was there was, why was I so fortunate? Like, they rolled the dice and I could have been born anywhere on the globe, and I got born in a place where there was, you know, good medical care. You know, where there weren't redheaded, South Asians, which is to say hair red from malnutrition. I'm making artwork. I'm talking to you amazing people. You've got channel members here. You've got people who send super chats to see us come out here and stream. And I feel almost like it's an embarrassment of riches when I'm busy, been busy working on wrapping up Nosfero and trying to keep, myself charged for that kind of stuff. I want to stream and be with these people because to me, I feel fortunate in every possible direction, in friendships, in backers and fans of the work I'm doing. And you guys are an utter blessing, period.
Yeah, but comics are hard.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's crazy, man. Have you ever noticed that some of the people who've had the toughest lives or are going through the toughest times are some of the most positive people? I've met so many people who it's like they are facing down some really tough stuff. And I'm like, yeah, seriously, it is pure dumb luck, Simply Green. You ain't kidding. And I think about it sometimes and I just go, how can people who've had so much opportunity be miserable? If you've gotten so much opportunity and you couldn't segue that into something, you had this embarrassment of riches. You had this, because they love the term, platform of Marvel and DC Comics, and you could not segue it into something. It's like, kills me, man. Raised, yes, exactly then. Yes. And she used to tell me stories. That stuff, man, that is the stuff you see. You just go, I cannot believe this is the thing. Yeah, show me where comes to you. Yes, Antoine Dennison, it's true. The Lord's blessings and grace put us all where we are today, and that is a blessing in and of itself. Indeed, take nothing for granted, be it good or bad. Cherish it all. Absolutely right, man. Can't wait for Nosfero 2. Yeah, so the big thing with Nosfero 2 for me is I'm torn between two directions I could go with it. And in terms of there's two stories that are going to get told, it's a question of what order I do them in, because I'm really liking, the idea of delving into Amun al-Hazared's story, the mummy vampire character that you see, who's kind of, yeah, exactly. The big baddie. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know how it is. It's like, well, see, actually, I don't know if you do, man, because you have plans.
I know everything that's happening.
Yeah.
Till the end of their time.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like I can't, when you guys put it this way, when you get this book, the story is like one of my streams in so many ways. It has a little bit more point to it, but it's a story that sort of touches upon the kinds of things that what I consider in fantasy and life to be really tough struggles, and it comes out the other side with this very positive and uplifting thing. It's the way I always have to think about story, to me. Yeah, Crackpack have been truly blessed. I know I can always crash in D-Wag's do the story double wide at the Lux dumpster. I love D-Wag, man. My illusion that I could make comics made me broke, more like it. Well, think about this too.
That's more like it, yes.
Yeah. Isn't it? Yeah.
It's like, I want to do this thing that is just, essentially what you're doing is you have to convince people to give you money to do this thing that is really in their life non-essential. I mean, you could argue here and there, culture obviously is essential to a society, but on the granular level, whatever comic book that you're working on is not essential to the greater civilization. So it's you got to sell it. You got to sell yourself. You got to sell the product. And it's the same with people who play sport and think, oh yeah, the quasi-professional women's league that sell 3,000 tickets a match should be paid the same as the men's professional league that sell 600,000 tickets a match. Sure, yeah, that makes sense because they're doing the same thing, right? You're doing the same thing as Mark Silvestri when he releases a Batman book. Yeah, it's exactly the same. No. not the same.
Well, I always say this: men's gymnastics, men's
Love
figure
it.
skating.
Yeah.
Life
Ooh,
ain't
even
fair,
better.
kids. You know what I mean? Life ain't fair. Men's volleyball. Guys, life ain't
Men's
fair.
beach volleyball.
Yeah.
I mean,
Men's beach volleyball.
unless you're going for a role in a new Top Gun film, you're really not going to be making much money getting into men's beach volleyball, I don't think.
Yeah. Shout out to Skunk Artworks channel member. Let me say this too. And yeah, Antoine Dennison, I caught that too. Michael Bancroft said that comics are non-essential. Yes, that's the takeaway. We'll clip that, put that out there. Yeah, male models. Yeah, exactly. It's totally true. Men's only fans. Yeah. Yeah, those dudes are make some strong gymnasts. But I'm going to tell you another thing right now. Right, here's another interesting thing for all my ladies out there, and you know who you are. All of my wives, sister wives out there. Let me just say this: is that there was a movie that came out about I guess a female showgirl called Showgirls that tanked at the box office. They promoted the heck out of it. Magic Mike got a sequel. Okay, so there are certain places where things will sell that don't. The MCU was successful when it was basically man candy on parade. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
So,
have you
yeah.
seen a lot? They do the dance routines now in the women's gymnastics. So it's really like this. I mean, you got to watch it, I suppose. It's
Do I?
if you want to know what it's like, but it's a lot of it's women dancing around in leotards, doing athletic things. So put two and two together, I suppose.
No, it wasn't. Scoring balls. There you go. Aren't the women's teams now being filled? Yes, actually. This is the thing that to me is fascinating about all of this stuff, right? People want to make up stories about how this world has been and how it works. And I'll show you an example. I posted this online. But I want to share it here because people need to see stuff like this because we got to fight back against the stupidity, right? There we go. Let's see, share screen, window, boom, and share. See if this works. Add to stream. Okie doke. So this is somebody I look at to break my soul whenever I'm painting horses. Just incredible. Look at this.
Yeah, the horse even really looks like it's breathing hard. It's like
this is next level stuff. Period. So when people I like hearing you guys talk about painting. I find it charming. But let me tell you something right now. There is nobody in comics, and I love the artists that we've got in comics. There's nobody in comics I look at that drops my jaw in general not because there's not great stuff. I mean, Dale Keough and stuff yes, there's stuff that I find brilliant. When it comes to painting, this is what I'm talking about, right? This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, and the artist is who? Thank you, Antoine, for that. Let me see if I can find it here. The artist's name, let me see if I can find her, where is it? I have her in Amazon. Let me see if I can find it. The artist's name who did this painting, I'm going to see if I can track it down for you because it's weird. It's one of those tricky names for me to remember. But a female artist, a woman who was British, who was unbelievably famous.
Woman?
Oh, no, a woman.
Woman artist?
You wouldn't believe it, right? It's like the only people who would be shocked by that are Marxists and feminists. Everyone else is complete. Oh, here it is. Her name is Lucy Kempt Welsh. She went from 1869 to 1958. And they're now reframing her work because that is what they love to do in terms of feminism. And they're saying, well, her artwork was lost. She was a lost genius because the men kept her down. And it's like, Stephen Rockwood, you almost made me spill over my painting. But the thing that people do not understand even remotely is she wasn't erased by men. She was erased by modern artists who hated representational work. They hated skill. That's what erased her. It was not, it was them, the people who want to reframe her in Marxist victimizer terms. You've never needed anyone's help to sell this, because this shit right here sells itself, Mike. It sells itself. Period.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Whenever I watch art history things, they go like,
Yeah.
and he was doing something that was quite unfashionable at the time, which always just means, he was actually skillful.
Good. He was actually skilled, like Rockwell, right? And so people say to me, they're like, the people who do not care about your background and only recognize skill are the most egalitarian people in the world. Yeah, and that's an enlistment poster. That's wild. Yes, that's another reason why she was lost to time.
Commercial.
It's crazy.
Or military.
Yeah, it was illustration. God forbid. Craziness.
Yeah, I never got that when I first got into, how art works and everything. If you go commercial, if you work for, you don't just make it for the art's sake, which whatever that means.
Yeah.
Then you're less of, regardless of what it looks like.
So when people look at, me, and I've got my photo reference of horses, and I'm looking at, artists like, Lucy Kemp Welsh and people like that. That's the stuff I get up in the morning. I see that work, and it doesn't snatch my soul. It doesn't make me sad. It makes me go, yeah, let's go get it today. Do you know what I mean? And it's like when I'm looking at stuff for your painting, for heaven's sake, if I might. One of the things about it is, even for something, this is just, you can imagine, but this is a very tiny figure in this painting, okay?
I want to be able to get my magnifying glass out and read the brand on the jacket.
So let's see if we can get this. I don't know if we'll be able to get this to focus.
Like Spy Kids,
Yep.
The glasses.
But this right here, this will be, I hate the focus on this thing right now, but this will be incredibly, this will be detailed. You will see the way that the coat is coming together. You'll see how this stuff comes together. But there's so much that goes into imaginative fiction painting, and I just want to show people what we can do in CG, what we can do. What was it? Gosh, who was it who said it? I think it was, I'm sure Eric July has said it. A lot of creators have said it. I don't need your help. I need you to get out of my way. And that's my attitude. I can do this whole thing by myself and make something better than their crap at the minimum.
I think that was Magneto in X-Men.
Yeah, Magneto said that. That's true.
He also said, get in my way.
Exactly. No, I don't think I can hold them all.
This is I rewatch scenes with Ian McKellen. That's all I watch. I just like the way he talks.
That's how you have to do it, man. That's how you have to do it. Yeah, Sean's paintings are going to be the new Magic Eye poster.
I used to make Magic Eye. I used to make my own Magic Eye stuff.
Why would you do
that? I was the only one who did it. And I used to do. I'd love to show you actually. Yeah. I used to do it with text and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And where would I be able to find that? You do stuff. I'm going to go on a hunt. You just reminded me.
Yeah, go on a hunt. I'm just flipping through Art Book 2 because I was looking at this the other day, and man, the thought of doing art books, by the way, feels so easy now. Because I mean, this isn't my first comic rodeo, but man, has it been a learning experience to do my first fully painted comic. Because this stuff is this is a ton of work, and it's so fun. You know, I love art so much, dude. I love it. You know, it's I just don't get why people could do this for a living to make themselves and other people miserable. To me, that's just a violation. You know, it's just unacceptable. And this is an art book too. This is one of the spreads. I was exploring comics in the second book because I was going, am I going to do this? You know, oh dear, what is this, man? What have you got there? Holy cow, you maniac. Let's see what we got
This
here.
was a t-shirt. And it was also an ad.
Dude.
It was an ad. So that's a magic eye. See if anyone in the chat can say what that is. So it's, if I zoom in, I'll wait to see if anyone can get it. If they can't get it, I'll let everyone know. I've always been really good at these. I can just see it straight away. But it's actually, it's text.
Yeah.
So it's a little essay or something, and it's related to what you're actually seeing in the image. I'm not seeing anyone getting it.
I can't understand.
Oh, there's a 3-dimensional image in there. I mean, it's
That's
right
insane.
there. I'm looking at it right now. It's quite small on my screen too. Like I'm looking at it on the stream. All right, and then there's also this one.
Whoa.
So that is, I think it's taken from a thing of Rasputin, an old thing of it, and then there's a 3D image in that as well. It just says penis over and over again. No, that's not true.
Pokemon,
So obviously this
there
one
you
doesn't
go.
have, but if I zoom in, I'll show you how it works. It's like, that's what it's made of.
Mm-hmm.
And if I zoom out, so there's a skull right behind his face there. It's like where his, where his skull would be. And then in this one, there's a mushroom cloud, and it's made up of just text.
Whoa.
Like that. Yeah. I'd totally forgotten about that stuff. I used to do this stuff all the time. I used to think it was really clever.
These are the things though, Mike, we've been talking about this stuff all the time, man. It's like people don't seem to get, that the stuff that or how do I put it, that we get to know each other, but I've known you for like 8 minutes in the grand scheme of things, right? It's like I've known you for, what now? Just over a year, maybe? A year and a half?
Longer than that. 2 years.
Really?
Easy. Surely.
Yeah?
Surely. Let me go look.
Let me go look. If it's less than 2 years, man, that's something. And then, oh man,
It has to be 2 years by now.
You think it, man, but I'm telling you, it's probably less than you know.
Well, time does work
stuff.
a lot differently in CG
Creepy.
than everywhere else.
This right here, folks, for kids at home, this is something, I just got a readable copy of this because I already have 50 copies of this, but this is my jam right here. I remember seeing this cover when I was a kid, not knowing anything about paint, not thinking I'd ever paint my life, and going, wouldn't it be crazy to be able to do things like this? And now I'm doing a painted comic. Holy cow. Freaking insane. World is nuts.
Does it not show me the date? All right, let me see if I edit video. It's going to show me the actual date.
Delete all evidence.
Oh no, I deleted it.
There you go.
Come on, it's got to give me the actual date. It's not going to give me the date. That's crazy. Oh, I can search in here. Let's see. We go.
Man, these pages are crazy. Gosh, I've got so much artwork here.
Launch party. All right, so we launched Nosfero. Oh my god, it hasn't even been 2 years. That's nuts.
It hasn't been 2 years.
In October 2021, we would have met.
What day was it? 15th?
October 9th.
Was it?
2021. Yeah.
Weird. Wow. That is a trip, dude. How is that possible?
I don't know. It feels like a lot longer than that.
It does feel a lot longer than that. That can't be.
Yeah, even with Camel, like I didn't realize Camel was there on my channel right from the beginning. I mean, I think I was 2 or 3 streams in, and
My God,
he came on and we were chatting about animation.
Yeah,
and and then he's been there ever since.
Yeah, dude. It's. I mean, the time in this space is because it's so concentrated. I mean, I taught college for 18 years. I went from having, rosters of students and being on committees and all of that other kind of crazy stuff into this. And I have to say, maybe it's because I've been doing comics since I was, 12, 13, 14. But it's, it just feels like it has been almost as long. I think it's because the relationships are stronger, honestly. If I'm being real, I think that's what it is. Because it's such an intense environment of creativity and, having you guys here in the chat, by the way, God bless you. Yeah. Last Ronin is the only mainstream book. Yeah. I tell people this, it's, I've bought recently. Yeah, absolutely. I hear that from so many people. Just call me Hen. It is great to see you. Hello to you. It feels like longer because Star Trek and PTP streams felt like eternity. People are always being hard on Star Trek, man, but those streams have to happen. They have to happen.
Exactly. Maybe just not on my channel.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, the stuff that we've seen, like, dies 2 a.m. It's almost 3 here, baby. Yeah, you guys. I love when I'm doing a stream with Jericho and Gabe because they're on the West Coast, and they'll go, "Oh, it's getting late. We got to go to bed." I'm like, "Guys, it's 4 a.m. here. It's like, and I'm still going." It's like, oh man, it's crazy. It's nuts, but we have to do it. Like, we have to talk about, promote our stuff and get it out there. But also, it's great to hang out with you guys. I haven't streamed in so long, and it was driving me nuts because, I'm really zeroed in on Nosfero, the lettering, and adjusting a couple of things and putting, how it is. We're putting this stuff together, and sometimes, it's like, oh Lord, and I think it's, I don't know if you were like this with the first Lucent book, but it's just an enormous experience, man. Like, it's over, like, it's just, you almost kind of are in shock. I think, like it's done. Like,
it's a monumental undertaking. I think.
Yeah,
what you're saying that. Yeah, it really is.
Yep. Oh wow. Hey, it's 7:42 a.m. here, and I haven't slept yet. Right on. Just call me in. Get it done. Yeah. I mean, it's a crazy thing to be able to, like, I remember I went on Ethan's stream after he'd done a debate, and he just opened up his stream to people, and I went on there, and that was when I think I first had a conversation with, and it was when Aaron and Shelly Lepresti were in the middle of it, getting, destroyed, and I popped on there, and I was like, "Hey, Ethan, what's up?" And and just trying to send some positive vibes, and then I said to the Leprestis, "I'm going to do an intro for Aaron," which turned out to be that Apocalypse Now intro, that I did, which was like, that was one of the hardest ones to come up with. And I remember, you get to these, these surreal situations where, I mean, I've had them before. I remember when a friend of mine is the creator of an animated series, and I don't know if you know the actor J.K. Simmons, but he is
he's
in like every Coen Brothers
Jameson,
movie,
isn't he?
Yes. Oh, that's right. That's, you know him from. Yeah, J. Jonah Jameson. And my buddy was directing him in the voice recording booth for his show. And I was sitting in the booth because I just come out to visit him. And I was giving him information on World War I pusher aircraft that ended up in the show. he based a character off of me in that thing. And it's like people just, you know, it's like you those things like the, you know, I remember the first time I went to Skywalker Ranch, then the second time I went to Skywalker Ranch back in the day. Like there's all this crazy, you know, stuff that I've experienced in that. But it's at the end of the day, the folks that I hang out with and the stuff I do and the work that I do is based on skill and craft. Like this friend of mine is a lead storyboard artist on like he was on Into the Spider-Verse and a bunch of different things. And yeah, that's back when Ethan thought you were an Indian in India shop. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Did
like,
he really?
I don't know. I think he's in India. And I was like,
Indiana,
I just thought it was hilarious, dude. My favorite part of being in Comicsgate, favorite part, is when somebody is trying to pronounce my name and getting it, just murdering my name, right? Not because how funny it is to watch them, but how funny it is to watch the people who know how to pronounce my name on the chat trying to keep saying it so the person will learn it, and just watching the look on their faces. Because I've been doing this for 46 years. It's hilarious to me, dude. I think it's the funniest shit. My college graduation, Michael, after 4 years at this, you know, elite art school, I get up to go get my diploma, and I just know it's going to be mispronounced. Shanth Enjeti. But here's what I could never have predicted and why I believe there is a God, and God has an outstanding sense of humor. Okay? The guy who mispronounced my name at my commencement, because they alternate who gets up and speaks, some person does 30, another person does 30, was an Indian guy, dude. An Indian dude mispronounced my name. And I was like, this is the greatest day. My name is the Afghanistan of names. It is where empires go to die. Holy shit, dude. Oh, it's a riot, man. But I love it, man. I love, like, this is the craziest shit. Here's something that trips me out. I think I have it because this StreamYard stuff is old. Like, I just now got back to StreamYard and have access to this stuff. Here's a short little 43-second clip of going from Shanth Enjeti, I think he's from India, to this.
Josh Lamb says, Ethan, more Shanth Enjeti Cyberfrog art, please. Did you like that? A lot of people are getting Shanth Enjeti's trading card right now and thoroughly enjoying it. I mean, I'm hearing great things about Shanth. You know, if you like the Cyberfrog card that Shanth did, you should probably back his comic book, which is called Nosfero on Indiegogo. You'll get an entire book of his artwork. And like I said, I've heard nothing but good praise about his work. It is tremendous. Almost Heathen WV says, pie burn? I haven't had any pie. I wish I had. I wish I've had some pie, but I've been pretty well behaved when it comes to my eating. I've had ice cream cones, maybe 2 ice cream cones.
Tragic, you know, tragic about the pie and ice cream cones. But I remember watching that stuff, and I was like, when I was teaching, Mike, even when I was teaching, and I'd hear someone from me go, excuse me, Shanth? I'd go, what are you, a cop? Like, how does someone know how to pronounce my name that I wasn't expecting? Like, it's creepy. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, the biggest hurdle I have to overcome, because you think about people talk about name recognition and all that other crap. When you have a strange name, the biggest hurdle is getting people to feel comfortable saying it. You know, my wife told me that when she first met me, most of her conversations about me when I left the room were, how do you pronounce his name again? Like, that was most of the conversations. Yeah. You know, and I was like, Shanth, baby. It's pronounced sex. No, but this is the thing. But I was sitting there and I'm like, you know, yeah, it's the same shit. Yes, exactly. No, that's terrible. That's terrible. What an awful thing to throw at me. Although I will say that my full name is Shanth Enjeti, which is weird that all 3 of my names have 6 letters. Just Call Me Hen says, well, there's a good reason I tell people to just call me Hen. It's way easier than listening to them butchering my name for years. Yes, When I order food at Chili's, which I am known to do, the name is Sean, folks. The name is Sean. Yeah. That's how I roll. You know,
you can't say Michael in Germany either.
Yeah,
because that'll be Marco. Like they won't understand Michael. So you either say, I can't remember, was it Michael? Or you just say Mike or something, or you just make something.
What were you doing in Germany, comic skater? Sorry, I just. By the way, they can't even. I've watched some of these SJW streams. I'm going to talk a little shit. It's got to be said. They can't pull off the diversity we have on this stream right now, man. We got 2 countries.
I don't know about that. We look pretty similar. I mean,
no, we are, as my son said, he's like the white you.
Yeah, there's a slight skin difference, but it's not huge. I mean, we're pretty. Hang on, hold on a sec. Let me put this on.
Yeah, put your cap on.
I don't have any glasses, but
yeah, but see, that's the thing, right?
This is pretty. I mean, you know.
Yeah, we've got it. We've got it happening. We are a hat group. They're right. You know, they're absolutely right, man.
You get a Lucent hat too.
Oh yeah, man. Is that the hat Antoine got you?
Yeah.
Isn't that scary how much we know the lore?
Fits.
All this stuff is crazy, dude. Yeah, man. I will tell you though, I've been sort of having I think probably wrapping up Nosfero has been a huge part of it. But I've been kind of having a renaissance in terms of falling back in love with the comics that I was passionate about when I was a kid. You know, I mean, it's like the first comic book I ever, I don't think I even thought of it as a comic book, which is kind of funny to think about. But my buddy who introduced me to all things comics, a guy named Zachary Hartford Cullis, because again, I might be on the spectrum. Hell. He introduced me to comics via that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles graphic novel, wherever the hell I've put it. Oh, here it is. And I remember when I saw this thing, and this was like this is the 5th printing of it or something. So this is when they'd gotten big and they were having like video game ads inside the trade paperback. But I remember seeing, you know, these painted, you know, because Eastman. The original colors on this book, Kevin Eastman actually painted the colors on this. Actually, let me make this bigger because I just realized it'd be a little easier for you guys to see. But Kevin Eastman actually did the paintings on the blue lines behind the black and white. And I would see stuff like this, and I just couldn't even imagine how that stuff would work. But this was the stuff that kind of made me want to start telling comics. Holy, he is the white you.
What?
Yeah, love the guys. I know people are like, well, the Turtles have never gone out of style, and it's like, yeah, you're kind of right, but they're not because of this stupid movie that's coming out by Seth Rogen, but they're having a major resurgence. The generation that grew up on these have been passing this stuff down to their kids.
Kids love it. I mean, Clark,
I love it.
Just he saw the Turtles, and he was like, yes, I love this. And he didn't really know anything about them.
Yeah. Hail, Moromi. Great to see you. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Hello, all you fine people. Yes, IDW is ruining the Turtles, but yeah, it's crazy. Next campaign, you need to add some art for sale. You have almost 600 backers. That's great for a non-pro first campaign. Yeah, up the dollars on number 2. Yeah, I think I've got a bunch of different plans for what I'm going to do. People have been asking me about the next campaign this stream, and I've mentioned it off and on, but I should make it clear. The next campaign I do is going to be the art-only edition of Nosfero. That's the next campaign. So it's absolutely going to be something that I already have together, you know, that I can put together, because this was the really tough campaign. The first campaign was the tough one. But I don't want to hear anybody tell me that the problem we all face as artists and creators is not coming up with a really fun, entertaining idea. This is fun. This book is a blast to read, and I still like going back and looking at this stuff. These characters have stood the test of time, and in this short book. I think it was 40 pages. And by the way, many of which were double page spread fight scene pages like this. Like there's 2 double page spreads in those 40 pages that just show essentially one panel, you know, which is crazy. Like the introduction of the turtles, you know, it's a single page spread and then it's a double page spread. Eastman and Lair's Ninja Turtles.
I know.
And I love this stuff, but you get to the end of this book and you have a complete, because they didn't think they were going to do another one. Yeah. And you have a complete story here, and it launched everything that came after. And that's what I started thinking about when I was working. What's up, McShort? It is great to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Look at all you fine people in here. We got 24 people in here. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you say hello. Fine, I'm here. You can start wrapping up now. Don't worry, John. We're not wrapping up, brother. Let's see here. I just picked up Raphael first print at Heroes Con. I love that book. First appearance of Casey Jones, if I'm not mistaken. But guys, I cannot tell you how much I love this stuff. Yeah, didn't the first issue of TMNT only sell like 800 copies? Yeah. The first printing, Bretsky the Great to see you, my friend, only had 800 copies printed up and sold, and then it was reprinted and reprinted and reprinted, and it's still...
Imagine that. I sold more copies of the Lucent than the Ninja Turtles.
Well, you know, we don't have to
brag. It just goes to show, I mean,
no.
You know, it can happen to anyone.
No, sorry.
Knows?
Before my poor joke there, you said something that I think you should repeat. You sold what? What did you say, Mike?
More copies of the Lucent than the first thing of Ninja Turtles.
There you have it.
That's crazy, and it's just an example. And J.K. Rowling sold 500 of the first edition of Harry Potter.
Yep, you got it.
See, whenever they laugh and say, "Oh, this is never going to turn into anything,"
yep,
you know, who knows? No one does. No one does.
Yep,
and it has to come. Like the next big thing has to come from somewhere, and it's probably not going to come from
New England. You know, Ninja Turtles came from New England, man. It came from Maine, where they created that book. H.P. Lovecraft, the most influential horror writer, came from Providence, Rhode Island, the capital city of the smallest state in the United States, you know? And you think about the Lucent right now. It is reaching across the oceans. It's one of the furthest places on this planet from me. And that connection is going to lead to this painting, has led to so many sales in the U.S., to you coming to Tampa to meet with CG fans. And people are looking at us and telling us they have the audacity, dare I say, to quote Ethan, the baldacity to tell us that we're not going to make great stuff. Get the hell out of here. I woke up this morning, threw together a Cyberfrog 3 logo, and it was a thumbnail on Ethan's channel because we move fast here. That's it. We move fast.
Did you see that? Did you see the other day that I read out that comment that was on that short I did?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Wait, which one? Which thing?
Hold
the
on
comment that was on which one?
It. On the short I did that had Painted Death in it.
Robert E. Howard. Yeah.
Oh, that's just hit 3,000 views too. Excellent. All right.
There you go, baby. You want to share it?
Yeah. Where is it? Share screen.
Camel Moon. No one's going to Tampa to see Mike. He's my chauffeur. Yeah, I agree, Camel.
You don't want me driving.
Still staying there? Here. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, baby.
Check out this comment here. Just gonna be another boring story that thinks it's darker than what it is. Clown shoes, bro. I mean, I don't know. It must be talking about me because I finished talking about Painted Death. Douglas is not a is not a believer in the power of independent creations, but I don't know, that stuff I always laugh. I like that. I like hearing that because that's just a little bit of extra kindling on the fire, you know.
Absolutely, man. Yes, Mike Barron has got something on Fund My Comic, so yeah, let's check that out, guys. Mike Barron, man, another person who I was reading his Punisher stuff in my youth, you know, and Mike's going to possibly be doing something with our man Ripa, man, our man in Amsterdam. You know, he's getting it done. you know, and that's, I've actually at this point, and again, I know I say this a lot, but one of my heroes for indie success, because it's not just in comics. I love seeing it in movies. I love seeing it in, you know, toys and action figures. I love seeing this stuff. Oh gosh, the Four Horsemen's have got this. These sculptors have got this great toy stuff. But I bought on the Memorial Day sale Tom McDonald albums, autographed Tom McDonald albums, and I was like, because I wanted to support him, and he doesn't put all his music online on YouTube, or he doesn't do streaming music. He's like, if you want to hear my music, I'll put some stuff online, but it's got to buy CDs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what I love about him. It's like, and he's doing quite well. You know, he bought his dad a Porsche
well
for Father's
himself.
Day. Yeah, he's doing okay. Yeah, man. And yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going to be doing the art book, but I'm going to talk to a bunch of my brothers, because you guys have all got a lot of different stuff going on that I'm going to want to learn from. But I think Fund My Comic might be something I look at too for that, just to test the water. So we'll see what I do with the art only book. I'll do it a few places. Sound of Freedom beating out indie. Yes, that's exactly right. I'd never believe it, especially because Disney buried it for 4 years. So they buried a movie for 4 years. It came out and beat Indiana Jones. So, yep.
Oh, really?
Pretty amazing. Yep.
Funny.
It was a movie about a certain kind of trafficking, and I don't mean with cars, more with minors.
Oh.
And yeah, odd that they would want to bury a film on that subject.
Yeah, I've seen they've been trying to say, oh, that's a right-wing dog whistle or something. It's a QAnon. They're trying to attach it to QAnon to discredit
They're so
it.
lame.
It's very slimy.
Yeah. Absolutely. But you know what? They've got nothing, man. That at the end of the day, they've got no creativity. They've got no imagination. All they've got is control and bureaucracy. You know what I mean? You and I, when we're doing our work, like, what are they going to bring to the table, man? Like, what are they going to bring to the table? This is just me, you know, playing around with, you know, because I've got art books and things down the line, and my next book is going to be, you know, probably the Nosfero without words. But this is just what, you know, this is what we do when we create. What have they got? You know what I mean? Like, this is like what I'm doing. I've got more creativity and more skill and more value pound for pound in the head sketches I do for backers than they have in a page of their books, maybe 5 pages of their books. You know what I mean? It's like, get out of here, guys. They have got nothing. I mean, when I was, my favorite things I've done in a while was of our boy Rob Arnold's replicator characters for the stickers and bookmarks campaign. This is like, you know, old school role-playing game artwork from Warhammer 40K. That was the goal, you know, to do stuff like that. I mean, I put some love into these damn tank treads, man. Let me tell you. You know, Paris. Yeah, you know Paris. You know what I'm talking about. Like Eiffel Tower. Go!
Don't remind me.
Dude, I love it, man. I love the mania. That's what we're here for, man.
I like that people associate with that with me now. They're like, someone said, Ethan posted a really in-depth kind of image of Cyberfrog's leg. You know, it has all this stuff on it. And someone actually tagged me and said, oh, this is Lucent comic levels of autism or something like that.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, the CG has more combined talent than the whole of mainstream cast generators. That's why I always say, guys, going back to that comment that was on your post, by commenting on that post, they're giving air to it. And much in the same way that they're winning when we're talking about their stuff disproportionately to talking about our stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we have to kind of get eyes on our stuff. I will never tell anybody how to promote or run their stuff because that's just the way it is. Like, I don't think that's not what I think of as capitalism and freedom, is telling other people how to run what they do. It's just, I don't want that kind of control. You know, I'm not an SJW. But I think that it can't be overstated that how good some creators like Eric July are at talking about ISOM. And that's why I try to, you know, when I talk about Nosfero and I talk about, you know, Amun al-Hazared, and when you guys get this book and you learn about what the book is, what you know, who Amun al-Hazred is, and you get just a glimpse of this guy. And then you you see what Nosfero is and what his experience has been, because there's so many fun pulp things in it. It's pound for pound. There is so much plot in that book, and so many things that tie together. But I wanted it to have almost like a visual and literary kind of level of density, much like where it's like again, it may sound like an odd comparison to Nosfero, but you think about, they established the character of Spider-Man. I think the first amazing fantasy story was Spider-Man. It's like 16 pages, 17, 18 pages.
It's quick. It's I didn't realize how little of the book it would be. But it's a small portion of the book. I mean, it was really just a throwaway idea that Stan and Steve had. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. The idea that someone is pooping on someone as good as Roquefort is so mind-numbing. I don't know. You can't know. And yes, indeed, vive la liberté. And I will say this about all of that kind of stuff, right? My brother, the groomsman, I was talking to him, and he said, he saw me doing some animation because I think it's important to test your skills. To push your skills because it feeds into everything. So I practiced the violin. You saw me when I did that song for Rob where I cut trailers. Mm-hmm. It's about make, produce. And I do experiments all the time that I know a lot of these guys, know well, but just for people who have, who are coming in late and who've potentially missed it, the stuff, let me see if I can do this. I always forget how much easier in some ways StreamYard is. Let me see, is this the most one? May 25th. I guess it is. I don't know if this is the most recent one, but I'm going to upload this and show this to you guys. This is the stuff I do when I either have like a migraine or I can't get to sleep, but I'm too tired to paint. Everything I do in animation is done in Photoshop and iMovie using a trackpad. It is a ridiculous way to work, but I find the more complicated the tools I have at my disposal, the worse, like the more minutia I can get. So this is kind of what I like to do to relax. But this is an example of what we can do in this space, like just one person thing. So here you go, 1 minute and 18 seconds. And this was a proof of concept. And then I have my credits there for all my fine people who support the channel. But guys, we make stuff here. That's it. Totally what it's about. We're having fun, Mike.
How long did that take you to make?
I can't remember. I think I can't remember. Not long.
You don't have to think about it though. Usually when it's animation, I don't like to think about it.
You know what? It didn't. Anybody who knows me knows it didn't take me that long to do because of a lot of the cheats I'm doing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like a lot of the panel moves and things like that. Play it again. I'm not done with my popcorn. Okay, I'll play another animation I made in the last. Maybe I probably did all of these in about a month or so. But
you were cranking them out for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was like I was on a break between stages of Nosfero, and I needed to get my mind off of it because I needed to take a break and to look at it with fresh eyes. So I did this. I'll be doing tons more of this stuff. Do you remember how much I was cranking out Ethan intros? Like having Art T-Bear in the water surrounded by bears. I mean, I was a machine. I mean, I'm just doing the same thing with animation, but you know, here's the example, just another short, fun. Ridiculous. But, you know, we can do anything in this space. We have the ability. And that's why, you know, Nosfero has action, it has violence, it has a little bit of nudity, man. It's like a Frazetta painting in a comic book. That's basically what it is. And it's what Steranko talked about that Pulp did, you know, that Phil Diaz, God bless you, Phil, passed on to me, where he said, Steranko said it's about mystery, danger, and sexiness. If you have those three things,
you're talking about Phil's best friend, Steranko.
Yeah, Phil's best friend Steranko. And I know I've told you this before. I don't know if I have it where I can get to it. But it was one of those things that I think more people should understand about Comicsgate, which is Phil had seen this catalog that sold out of Steranko's exhibition. I told Phil, jokingly, Phil, I wish you'd picked me up one. But then they released this really great Pulp book that Phil and I reviewed on his channel. But when Phil saw Steranko down, I think it was in Florida, he had copies of the book for sale. Phil bought me one and just sent it to me as a present. What a good dude. You know what I mean? The people in this space are great people, man. Yeah, CG, awesome books and fun streams. That's what it's about, you know? Yeah. I do hope you do more with those characters. Yeah, guys, as soon my natural state is to be producing like a maniac. Like I said, I mean, when I was driving 90 miles up and then 90 miles home from work, I was also staying after class and plastering and repainting classrooms. I was nuts. Like, I was so crazy. What do you mean
plastering? Man. What were you plastering?
Plastering. Like, there were, like, cracks in the walls and things like that in my classroom. So I was smoothing those out, and I was going and painting with my own cash, painting classrooms and trying to make it nice for the students. And then buying students who needed them art supplies, and buying books and building my own library in the classroom so students who couldn't afford art books could have their own collection. Shit like that, dude. I was a machine.
I bet they were very sorry to see you go, by the sound of it.
No, they weren't. The students were sorry to see me go, but not the rest of them, because they don't like skill, man. Yeah, he means. No. Oh, sorry, Grooms is right. He means he was plastered after class.
Yeah, that's what
right. That's what I meant. Yeah,
he's making himself sound.
But you know, it's handyman. If you were ever broke and you couldn't afford books, I always said to the students, I wanted to turn this classroom into like a studio space, like the one when I was learning from Brian Stelfreeze at Gaijin Studios. And I worked really hard to do that and build something. And it was tough to watch them piss it all away. Yeah, and then someone swooped in and took the classroom I did. Yep, that's right. They moved me out. This dickhead I was working with, who was fucking asshole. But it is what it is. You know? Like, you can't hold grudges, you know? But fuck them. The thing is that he actually, I can't describe to people. I mean, I know you guys know this because you're in this space. If you're at DC Comics, pushing out Ethan Van Sciver is burning your meal ticket. It's the stupidest thing you could do, is get rid of the skilled person on the Prado distribution. I mean, you think the shit I've done for Ethan, you know, all those videos I've made, hours and hours of videos I've made for Ethan that I've, like, you know, just made for him, just to help him with his channel. That's nothing compared to what I did as a teacher, Michael. Nothing compared to how much time I gave to try to make, just, you know, donated time. Like, it's just craziness. But you know, if you've been around me long enough, you guys know that's the kind of person I am, man. You know what I mean? It's like, and I also go, you know, I show up to work on time. Like, if someone says to me, hey, you know this, hey, Shanth, we're streaming at this time, can you be there? I will be there on time. I will not miss shows.
Even at short notice.
Yep. Yeah, because if I say yes, I'm going to be there, you know? And, yeah, I'm sure they thought Ethan would. Yeah, exactly. I think you're right. I'm sure they thought Ethan would crawl back after a few months for work. Whoops. Yeah.
Oh, everyone still
it's
expects him to, by the way.
Yeah, of course. They don't realize he's still getting royalties, so he doesn't have to come back to make money off of them. Those morons. You know? Yeah, I mean, guys, and speaking of, why would Ethan come back to them when he can have this? There's a question for you right there.
Yours already?
Yeah.
You got the slave catcher.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I actually asked, John Malin is actually selling custom ones, which I didn't know. And I've got a ton of those. You know, John's just making money hand over fist. I mean, you guys know this. I mean, anybody who's followed my channel, you know, for a long time knows, you know, like that I love Malin, because Malin has often told me, he said, Shanth, you know, I'm down with the ethnics. You know, he says it all the time. But it's
good.
But why would I go work for the mainstream when I can get incredibly well paid to do things like this? You know, I'd rather be illustrating Cyberfrog. There's a couple of things I want to. Yeah,
it's very weird because there's 2 or 3 people. Let's say there's about 5 people who've really kind of made it to the mountaintop in creator-owned comics, where they're really in control of everything they do. Ripper, Ethan.
Sorry, hold on.
Paludo.
Hold that thought. This is my favorite. Sorry. Continue.
Who is
There's a
this
few
white
people
shark?
to the mountaintop.
That's how I'm gonna. Yeah, you know, people can argue about who the others are, but why would you go back to doing a page rate to draw characters that you don't own? And you know, he hasn't made that amount of money because he has to pay money, but he's turned over $6 million in the last 4 years doing this.
Yep.
I mean, anyway.
I think
sure. I'm going to go back and you know, draw Flash. Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
But people still say, oh, he would go back in a heartbeat if they let him. Because they think, like, they think everyone thinks like they do, that it's all about what they consider prestige.
Yep. Timmy Mello, you're right. 1 minute DC is kicking out. Timmy Mello, if I haven't said on this stream yet how much I appreciate you, man. Simply Green, all you channel members, but Timmy Mello, you're what I stream at crazy ass times, man, and you're always there. It's like you and Steven Rockwood and all my boys. You guys are awesome. John, thank you guys for being here. 1 minute DC is kicking out creatives like EVS, and now they are creatively bankrupt in their own American genre. They are peddling out Sailor Moon, Superman, and S Squad animes just to keep relevant. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You know, someone was asking me the other day. I think it was one of my kids was asking me, why do you use the word based in your previews? And it started out like kind of, you know, like, okay, like I got to put something in there and I don't know what I'm going to put. And to me, I always loved as a teacher using age inappropriate slang. It was still one of my favorite things in the world. Like I disciplined my kids by when they wouldn't do what I said, I would use age inappropriate slang audibly. I found it was the best way. And I said, I'll do it in front of your friends. Like when you come out of school, when I pick you up, I'm going to go, kid's name, Slay Queen. And just, that's what your punishment will be. And you'd be surprised how well they behave, man. They will get their
kids do not want to hear that.
Mm-hmm. And so when I look at them trying to do Sailor Moon, Superman, it is like a comb over from behind the ear is what that feels like to me. I mean, it's like, give it up, man. You're old. Act your age. Don't try to be the manga. It's embarrassing. You're too old for that. It's so embarrassing, dude. It's like, you know, they have Superman. They can't get it done. Yeah, so you were torturing them. Yeah, that's how I torture them. I discipline my kids by tapping in front of them. Yeah, there you go. That's right. Yeah, drop this line.
I'm going to start trying that.
Yeah, you got to do it, man. You got to do it. Uncle Buck them. Yeah, absolutely. It's the Uncle Buck
great
skill.
movie. Yeah, Uncle Buck, he knew how to handle it.
I still look at that scene where the kid is waiting outside the principal's office. Excellent excellent casting. And he's looking at the kid. He's like, do you want to go in, or do you mind if I go in? For like, the kid is just like, he's John Candy's towering over him. It's genius, man. Yeah, Ethan is Jack Dawson, and the industry is chasing him around the sinking ship. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, well, you know, I like what he said, which is he feels like he got pushed out of a burning building. It's true. Yeah, Sean's Superman review, 1 star, come over from behind here. Yeah, exactly. Simply Green.
That's my favorite
depends on
line.
animation.
One of my favorite lines from The Big Short, where he says, "Put
Yeah.
it this way: I'm standing in front of a burning building, and I'm offering you fire insurance on it."
Yes. Yeah. It's incredible.
good.
Like, I love, well, see, my favorite lines from that movie are more obscure. And I love that movie. Like, I watch that movie all the time. But my
Me
favorite
too.
lines from that movie are when he walks into the bathroom on the cell phone and he just goes, Shane. Like, it's just fucking hilarious. Oh my God, man.
I feel it. It's palpable. I feel you judging.
Yeah, I can feel you judging me. It's fine. I also like his name is Yang, and it cuts to the guy's like, actually,
Look
I
at his
came in
face.
second.
Look at his eyes. The banter in that movie was so natural. Like, it's a bit racist. You know, he's just under the breath. It's so good.
Well, that's your nickname in our house, right? I give people nicknames
Yeah.
all the time. Like, yeah, so like my brother who's the show creator who did this show called Avatar: The Last Airbender. His nickname with me since school was Nitty. You know, because I was just like, it was just the shorthand for his name. If you saw his name, you'd know why he had a shorthand. Yours in my house is, I go, because Michael, there's a few Michaels, right, that I know. I go, I'm going to go stream with Bance. That's your nickname in our house.
Bance.
Bance. It
Makes me sound cool. It's Bance.
That's the gift, man. That's what you do. Man, I lip sync Aaron Lopresti to Apocalypse Now. I know what I'm doing. Because you can just see people and you just know what's gonna work, man. It was like when I did the Rob song, man. It's like, I hate when one of our guys goes down. You know what I mean? When somebody gets sick, because it's so nerve-wracking because you want to be working all the time. It was the same when you got COVID. You know, we were just starting to talk about the Lucent Pain of Death. You know, I think that was like 7 years ago. And we were talking about, we were ramping up. And then you get sick and it's like, fuck, I'm just trying to build something right now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to build something. And you just got to go. You need people to just kind of go, hey, man, you're still here. You're still in the space, man. I can't wait till Rob's back, man. I cannot wait. You know? Yeah, Bancroft, indeed, man. It's like, that would be, that's his
I've
gang
had so
name.
many names. I'm like the devil in Devil's Advocate. Oh, I've had so many names.
Oh, I've had so many names. Wow. My favorite clips from almost any movie is that one clip from Heat where he's leaving the meeting with Albert and he goes, "Don't waste my motherfucking time." And then walks out. Still my favorite, man. Yeah, that's the way it is. Yeah, his is Michael's gang name and my gang is Bance. My nickname is the one I had when I was a kid. It's Ajax, which we got off a TV show because I always get away clean. It all came out of, this is the best thing about racism, right? So I know it seems like an odd segue, but go with me on this. So we went away on a field trip when I was in, I think, 7th or 8th grade, and just brought tons of shit we shouldn't have had. One of them was a giant thermos, and this is going to sound gross, with 50% gin and 50%, I think it was 50% vodka, but I'm not sure. 50% gin and 50% Gatorade. There was another flask that had vodka in it. Sorry. So it was gin and Gatorade. Disgusting.
You're not selling me on it, just letting you know.
I'm not. That and then a couple of bottles of good old fashioned Robitussin. And so we're like, whatever we were, 13, I think, at the time. So we go away and we do all of this stuff, and then we got in trouble big time when we got back, because word got out, because we were basically telling people like we were messed up. And so we all get called into the dean's office. They're calling us in one by one. And I go in there and I'm like, I'm a dead man. I've got an Asian dad at home. This is the end for me. I go in there. I'll never forget. Mr. Jameson looks at me and he's like, hi, Shanth. I've just got to sit you in here for a little bit so that everybody knows that you're all being talked to equally. I know you haven't done anything. I know you didn't do it. Haven't play any part in this because I was profiled. He's like, this is an Asian kid. He did nothing.
Oh my God.
It's dark, isn't
The
it?
racism.
It's true. God bless it. God bless America. Yeah. Yeah. Plus, Aaron was in his stream presence when you made it. Yeah. It took a while to lip sync that Lepresti video. But I love, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, I look at this stuff sometimes, and it's really great. Here's one of the things I love about Comicsgate. Let's be positive, because apparently that's just how I roll. Oh gosh, Grimsman's gonna start telling college stories about me at some point, which were something. But here's something about Comicsgate. When I talk to again, I like to call him this because it's a great nickname. When I talk to Jack Malin, Jack, if he wants me to do something, it ain't complicated. He's like, hey, can you do this for me? Do some work for me? And whether he uses it or not, or, you know, he'll give me notes on things. He's like, this is your PayPal. Here's your money. You can always count on that guy. But there's no
What sort of
bullshit
things have
with
you
him.
done for him?
Oh my gosh. Well, he wanted some pictures of me. He didn't want my face in them, but no.
Yeah, I get it.
I've done for. Let's see. He asked me to take a run and do some variations on a godlike logo. He's paid me to freshen up trailers of his and things like that from time to time, just to see what my take on it would be. So and then of course I did a one-page pinup for the latest Visions, and then he commissioned me to do a double-page spread of Lascivia from Nosfero for the Visions book for Godlike. And I really hope one of my bucket list items is I would love for John to hire me or commission me to do a Godlike piece, because I am really excited about that book, because I think it's the book that he's probably, it's in a lot of ways, I think it's like his Nosfero in a sense, right? Like it's the book that is like him on 11, you know? Nosfero is Mrs. Enjeti looking at me and going, do one your way, man. The Stanley wife thing. Do one your way. Fully painted, all out, you know, do that. Like, she's like, if we're gonna, you know, she backed me on, because she knows too much about what I've been through to ever. God bless her, man. I'm lucky in marriage. I'll say that. She knows I could never be a part of teaching racism because of the shit I went through. Certainly, I'm not going to have people say racist shit about my wife's, the mother of my children's race. That shit ain't going to ever happen. Period. End of. But so she knew the risks we were taking when we did this. And she says, if we do this, we didn't know it was going to get to 35K, man. We didn't know that shit. You know that. And we didn't know where this was going to grow. Sup, Dean? But it's like when I think about this kind of shit, you know, and she said, but you have to do it your way, man. You know, you have to make it the book you need to make. It's a risk either way, but don't compromise. Don't do whatever. Make this the most beautiful book you can make. I've got your back. And it felt so fitting that she wrote the intro for it, man. You know, like we're when people ask me sometimes, like, who's your best friend? I'm like, she's right there. That's her. You know what I mean? She has the shit that she has been through and with me and seen me have to fucking deal with. She's the shit, period. Yep. The song Shanth played when he proposed to Mrs. Enjeti. Is it Baby's Got Back? How did you know? Were you there? No. It's crazy, man. Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, actually, speaking of the singing thing, I don't know if I've ever talked about this on stream, but you could probably guess from some of my previous intros. But I'm a massive Oasis fan. There you go, folks. Put it out there. It's 3 a.m. Huge Oasis fan.
Favorite song?
That was my Which what? Sorry.
Favorite song?
Oh, favorite song? Well, our song, the one she heard me singing while my buddy played the guitar when she was trying to decide whether she wanted to go out with me, is a song called Talk Tonight, sang by Noel Gallagher. My favorite Oasis song, and the other one is, my favorite Oasis song is Cast No Shadow, because it's written about another one of my favorite musicians. Richard Ashcroft from The Verve is one of my favorite people. You know, he's been married since he was young. He had kids, you know, young, and you know, he's a pretty real one. But that's the shit I love, man. Oh, the song is named Ride With Me. That's right, John. I played that for her after you sent that the last time. Yeah, man. I always thought he had Goodbye Horses blaring. Yeah, that's right. I think her conversation was more like, stop whining. Jeez. Yeah, that was kind of it. Yeah, it was. Yeah, man. Talk Tonight is great. Yeah, it's one of our favorite songs, man. Yeah, she did like it. She's a crazy gal.
Shanth,
yeah,
share my window there.
Uh-oh. Here it comes. Here it comes. Boom! Ah!
So these will be going up. I guess I'll send them out kind of late my time. So yeah, maybe evening. I'm not sure. They'll go with an email. But 5 more sketch cards coming out. There's a new Ella there.
Beautiful, dude.
There's a biker.
Dude,
that's the taken from this, from the thing, from the bookmark. Another Ella. So many Ellas. Ella looking
dude,
very.
Let me say this. Pause on this for a second. Let me say this. And I know I had this conversation with you recently. If you ever want to see aggressive affection from Shanth, Mike's experienced it. Rocky experienced it worse today, my brother in the chat. And it's this. Do you get that I dig your shit, man? Do you get that I dig your shit and I like your work?
I think so, yeah.
I'm like getting pissed off. I'm going to get drunk on one of these streams affectionately. I'll be like, you Aussie motherfucker. Fall out of my chair. I love your shit.
Yeah, fucking awesome.
That's right.
Dean says, "Is there a real person I modeled Ella off?" A few actresses. Who did we talk about the other day? Yeah. We talked about.
Yeah, he's like,
young
Ella is the white Shanth
in female form.
Yeah. Emily Blunt.
Young Emily Blunt. And
by the way, my wife and I died when you said that, by the way.
Yeah, not now Emily Blunt.
No, because we were like, isn't Emily Blunt still young?
Younger.
I'm just teasing, dude. We know where we are, okay? We know. We have dinner at 4. It's over.
But there are just certain characteristics that I think are like a little different that I make sure that sort of you can see it's kind of her. And then I've got this one here, which is La Marechelle behind the whiskey bottle, which I really like this one.
Yeah, dude.
And because this was the first thing to sell on the campaign, and people have asked for more. There will be a new Gilgamesh card. And this one is Gilgamesh and Enkidu. I should actually rename that. Gilgamesh and Enkidu on the one card. So you get 2 for 1.
Let me say this too. That one in particular is great. You really got the figures. I think that might be some of my favorite figure and portrait stuff of yours, because you got Enkidu's dead. That's not easy to do. It really isn't.
Yeah.
Mike's like, doesn't know where this is going. Look, Mike, sorry. By the way,
you're really good at drawing dead guys.
No, bitch. The word you're looking for is thank you.
Thank you.
You got to internalize the compliment from a painter, man.
Yeah.
Because look,
Thank you,
we look at stuff like this. I remember when I was in visiting the Vatican when I was a kid, because we'd stop in Europe on the way to India, because that's a long flight. And I remember when I saw the Pieta in person, and I remember thinking at a young age, I looked at it and I went, that's really hard to sculpt the difference between being dead and sleeping. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's really tough to capture that because we don't got a lot of marks to do that with. You know what I mean? It's
Not
like
in a
when
still
you're drawing
image,
it.
no.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's really tricky, man. Yeah, he really nailed the homoeroticism right on the head. Yeah.
I'm not painting these, groomsmen. I'm using Copic markers. The exact same Copic markers that Ethan uses.
So look at this, groomsman. It's like a dead Emily Blunt.
Well, hopefully not.
Holy shit. You guys are killing me, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, so if you're on the mailing list, if you have backed the campaign, these will you'll get an email at some point tomorrow or the day after, letting you know that these are up. Probably want to get in pretty quick. I think the more popular ones, probably this Gilgamesh is going to go like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep on the lookout for it, and it's free shipping. You just just add it to whatever you've backed. No problem. So yeah.
Dude, I mean, it's like one of those things, right? It's like it's a little bit, this is gonna sound like an odd comparison, but it's a little bit like parenting, right? Where you're racing. Well, it's certainly where I'm at with parenting. You're racing, you're trying to remember things. It's like, oh man, do we have this? Oh, do we have the sippy cups? Oh, do we have this, the car seats? Oh, we got to get rid of this part of the car seat, blah, blah, blah. And then you get to where I am right now, where you're looking at their senior year of high school and looking at colleges. And it feels like it's like that. And for me, waiting for this book to launch and waiting to close the Nosfero campaign are like that. Do you know what I mean? I've been waiting for Painted Death to launch. I've been so excited about it because, as it happens in CG and it happens in this space we're in, and the same thing I would say for Iron Age and the Ripperverse or whatever you call your little neck of the woods, Tom McDonald, when he releases a new album or video, you've got people who are lifting you up and just helping you to succeed. It's like there's this passion just waiting. It's like Unleash the Hounds, man. And that's what it's been like for me, waiting for Painted Death. It'll be the same thing with Battle Brick Road 2. It's the same thing with a lot of these books because, you get, and it's going to be the same thing when you guys get your copies of Nosfero, man. It's like you guys are going to feel like you're a part of this, man. You were there. Mike, you launched this book, dude. I mean, that's going to be so cool. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm talking about my book. You launched Nosfero.
Oh, yes.
Think about that.
I do. I often do. I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of the sort of, I feel very blessed, that situation where people, they look to my show to come and launch their books now.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
I didn't even know
we all built that together,
that,
no, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. They don't
like,
do that.
What is this?
Because they say like, what's the point of all this? Because they don't understand the sort of the fervor, and the craziness of it all.
Yep.
And they don't really believe it until they see it, and they start to see, oh no, this is just human behavior at play. We want to be part of these things. We want to get involved in it. I mean, I've been swept up in these things more times than I can count. I was like, I wasn't even thinking of backing anything today, but here I am hitting that back button again.
Yeah.
Just don't tell Mel about it.
Well, it's a great way to support artists. Like sometimes I can't be plugged into everybody's campaign. Like there have been some campaigns, whether they've been on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, by artists I really admire, or their spouses. In the case of Bernie Wrightson, who passed away a couple of years ago, they launched a Kickstarter book of his stuff, and I just try to get it out to like Aaron Lopresti. Do you know that there's a Kickstarter by Bernie Wrightson's widow for his card artwork or whatever else, or Todd McFarlane's Spawn figure when he launched it? Because the creators who affected me, I mean, if Kevin Eastman. Can you imagine co-creator of the Ninja Turtles? Because Peter Laird's retired, as he said recently in an interview. Peter just wants to enjoy himself. He's in his 60s. And he's okay. Financially, I hear he's going to be all right. But if Kevin Eastman launched a creator-owned project on Indiegogo, Kickstarter, wherever he is, I don't give a shit, on his own site, I would back it. Without even if that book never came out, just to like I'm saying, you probably would, knowing him, because he works, he gets shit done. But it's like I have so much pent up affection for what those guys gave us with Ninja Turtles. Do you know what I mean? I'm ride or die with those guys. They sent a comic book almost like as a message in a bottle to a kid in Chattanooga, Tennessee, in the middle of nowhere, you know, and it changed me, changed where I went with my life. And it's great, man.
Awesome.
You know, I love it. You know, and the proudest thing I am about when I look at that launch stream and I think about it is it was, and actually the stream even before that, which was the stream when you had me on. It was so funny. Like, what was it? Wading into comic skate waters. It was funny because I'd already done all those intros, but I got what you meant because it was kind of weird, you know? It's crazy to me because I'm proud of the fact that it was like me meeting a new friend. Like, I think about how nuts that is. Like, you know, I was like, like I came on CG Team and it's like, I was like, okay, I've seen Eric Weathers before. You know,
we're friends now.
Like, yeah. Like now we text, and again, you know, the same with John Malin. Just a lot of photos. You know, my face isn't in them, but I feel like we're close. No, but you know, Eric sends me art and sketches and things. You know, we all do that behind the scenes. Like, oh, I'm working on this thing right now. Like, you know, and I'm like, damn, that's cool, man. And you know, I'm doing this thing and. You know, it's like the first people, you guys know this too. And it's absolutely right. Here I'm hitting that back button again. Don't tell Mel. Yeah, we back these campaigns. That's what happens, man. And this is the thing too, right? It's I look at the, you know, the kind of work that we're doing and, you know, the kind of crazy stuff. And it's like, I loved when Eric let us know, it's like, hey guys, you know, I'm going to be signing with the Rippaverse. And when I get to share with you guys are some of the first people I share with, you know, it's like, I think one of the very first people I let know was I texted Phil Diaz because he's a big Razor Fist fan. I said, Phil, don't tell a soul this. I'm doing a piece, you know, for Razor Fist book. Like, or I might be, I think I was like right when I hadn't had it totally confirmed yet. But it was like, you guys were the first people I let know, you know, doing this. Like, guys, this is crazy. I'm doing a piece for Razor Fist. It's getting more eyes on Nosfero because we build this stuff. You know, it can't just be on. I think about this all the time, and it is what it is. But I've always, just because of the way I'm built, I've always tried to do. You know, Ethan has definitely, obviously, mentioned me on streams and everything like that. But I've always tried to with videos and things like that, help Ethan more. And not try to ever ask him for anything because, you know, and I have, you know, I've definitely, I mean, he's been generous and he's been really supportive because I just think that the biggest favor you ever get from folks like John Malin and Ethan, who both, let me be really clear, have been supportive of me and all this stuff, is what they did stepping into the fray with Comicsgate, because everything grows out of that, you know. And even, I remember when Ethan was talking to Eric July and going, you should do your own thing. You know, you should launch a comic years before this thing. And he was like, oh, and it could be the Rippaverse. Like, it was like, I mean, they're bandying about that term, you know, and it's a great thing. You know, Razor Fist, I enjoy his books, started doing some artwork, and now we're doing this. And you and I are now collaborating on projects. I don't understand how, like, I mean, I do understand it because, I mean, we all get down from time to time, but everybody in this space be so proud of what we're making here, be so enthusiastic, be so positive. I mean, it's 3:43 in the morning here. I've been up since 9 in the morning. I don't give a shit, man. I'm energized because I'm here with my brother working and we're talking to you guys. That's what makes it great, man. That's how we do it.
I'm liking getting back into the color streams, the draw streams.
Yeah, man.
They're really fun. You know, I like watching them. I like doing them. I like feeling like you see the thing coming into being. and you obviously, took advantage of that a really big way.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a great space, man. We're in a great space, and it's I always tell Jericho, because Jericho's on the show. We do Double Impact that we do over on Gabe's channel, and Jericho's got like 300,000 subscribers, and he's a machine. He works hard. He's involved in all of this stuff. But man, we laugh our asses off when we do that show, and we're always like, everybody I know and everybody I talk to, and he's doing work for Ripa on iSum, and he's always got that stuff going. But we always say to each other, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like the next project that we're thinking about, we're always thinking about upping the game. Look at the Lucent 2. I mean, man, I know how much work goes into launching an Indiegogo and starting it and building what Waking Dream became. But holy cow, you have redoubled your efforts on this second book, man. Freaking crazy. Yeah.
It is a bit crazy. Hold on a sec. Kids are knocking on the door. I'll go see what they're after.
Okay. Yeah. So the next book is going to be the art-only version of Nosfero. I'm going to obviously be doing different artwork and things like that. But I think for book 2, for Nosfero book 2, I had two ideas I wanted to play around with and see where they went. So we're either going to be going deep into sort of the woods, the hollow of with the headless woodsman character that I've shown previously. We're either going to be going into a more a smaller kind of story in some senses, or, and this is the other thing, or we're going to go to the deserts of Egypt. I haven't figured out whether we're going to do a story that's more akin to Lovecraft's The Nameless City, which is actually directly quoted in Nosfero. There's a page dedicated to a quote from Nameless City by Lovecraft. Or if we're going to do more of a Witch's Hollow kind of Dunwich Horror kind of story. Now, the thing about the new idea that I was showing you guys for a black and white comic, when I said a smaller book too, just to clarify, I was thinking about just in terms of doing smaller paintings for it and making it a little bit more still very much in the Nosfero universe, but taking place in the rural 1920s New England. So it'd be a little bit of a different thing. And that's kind of the Ninja Turtles meets Lovecraft meets the Ninja Turtles. Very big Lovecraft. It's essentially built around the Dunwich Horror in the same way that the Ninja Turtles origin story is built around Daredevil. And let me see if I can put this on screen here. But that is something I want to work on, and it might just be that they happen simultaneously. But yeah, that is what this story is right here that I'm looking at. So this gives you a little bit of a sense of it. So the origin story of these characters ties directly into the Dunwich Horror. Again, much like the same way that with the Ninja Turtles origin is like a wink and a nod to the Daredevil origin story. So I just want to make stuff that is, I love Halloween, I love horror, I love monsters. That's my lane. That's the place I want to be because I derive so much joy from it. So that's really everything to me. These are going to be going up for sale on the campaign before it wraps up. And this is the trading card artwork of for Phantomas. Oh, we got a cat there. We got a cat in frame.
He's a bit like, don't know about this.
Yeah. And then this is this right here is the artwork for the bookmark, which is also going to be for sale. And I love this because it's you can turn it around. Like you see a theme there, Mike, with my stuff. So you've got them up top, and then when you come down into frame, it's a perspective shot of Lascivia in front of these two doors. And so I've got all of these ideas, but I've done I've come up with some absolutely like insane stuff that I don't know if they've ever seen. Let me grab some of this stuff. Mike's seen it, but I had an idea. Like this is just something I did a little while ago. But I had an idea for the anti-woke garbage pail kids sort of stuff I wanted to do. So this right here was one of my insane painting ideas of that. And I had come up with all of these different characters, and it was just freaking hilarious. And so I will come up with like, you know, crazy cartoony stuff all the time. And it's the same thing with some of the stickers that people are going to get for with their Nosfero books in the campaign. So that's based on my ideas for that trading card set. So these are the the Gnarly McFiends fan club, and that was an illustration. You can see the stitches are the Enjeti E that I signed my shit with, and then these are the werewolf stickers, and this one's a dinged one, but this was somebody's head sketch from my second campaign, and it made such a great image. I'm using it for a sticker. So my attitude about this stuff is just create, and it's all kind of, you know, you guys can sort of see how this stuff all kind of ties together, making a fun, you know, horror universe where people can kind of come in, and it's basically Shanth Enjeti art and the comics I do. I refer to them as, you know, they're the horror genre's heroes, and that's what I kind of see them as. You know, the heroes of the horror genre, and that's what I'm after.
What's this piece we're looking at here?
This one right here?
Yeah.
This is... Okay, so this piece right here is an idea for... When I said a smaller book, this is the idea for a smaller black and, like, physical size book that is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meets H.P. Lovecraft meets Ninja Scroll, and it is... I barely could get that out without slurring it. Yeah, so it's black and white, and I'm doing it on gray toned paper and then working into it with acrylic. And it's basically the way I'm approaching it is much like Ninja Turtles starts out with, like, they're created in the same accent that makes Daredevil. This story ties into the Dunwich Horror by H.P. Lovecraft. So that's kind of what my plan was for this book. And it's really got some crazy stuff in it. So there's a character in it that's like a kind of contorted, twisted Doberman pincer that's kind of based on the dog, but he's actually a good character from the movie The Thing, if you guys saw what happened to the dog in that. So lots of crazy, crazy stuff in this. Antoine Dennison with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Antoine. Shanth, what's the name of the board you paint on? So I paint on crescent canvas textured illustration board, and this is the thick version of it. And
it is quite thick. I can confirm.
Yeah, quite thick. Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. And since we have a super chat, I gotta send you a cheerleader, my friend. You know how it goes. Charge! Yeah, so when people ask me, as you know, Michael, how fast do you animate? Think of how many things I've made like that are just freaking insane. Thank you, Antoine. God bless you. So yeah, it's crescent board, and this right here, this is great paper for any of you guys wanting to sketch on stuff. This is toned gray mixed media paper. They also have toned tan, and I use the toned tan for my sketches that I do sometimes. So this was the first pass sketch for, the second pass sketch for Razor Fists painting. This was on toned tan paper. This is the first pass of the sketch. It just didn't work out. This is me sketching out, trying to figure out the boat for Michael's. Oh, here's the thing I was talking about. This is one of the possible ideas for the second Nosfero book, and this is done on toned tan, and it's going to be about the next phase. The first book is kind of about a couple getting together, and then the second, like in many ways, metaphorically, where they come from, and then the second book was sort of falling more into kids and family and life. We'll see how it goes when I get to that point. But where the Where in the heck did I put the sketch for your painting, Mike? I was just wondering where the hell. Here it is. Yeah, here it is. And then this is the sketch for the painted death piece, just to give people an idea of what the eventual visual density is going to be of this thing. But it's crazy, man. I mean, one of the things about the way I do this work is it's weird because when I sold the Cyberfrog trading card to the gentleman who bought it, they just kept asking me, and it's great. I love my fans and I love the people who collect my artwork. So thank you all of you guys who've backed books. But they were like, I said, well, they said, what else do you have associated with this piece? And I was like, well, I have the sketch, but the final sketch that Ethan approved, I sent to him with 2 art books. And they're like, well, I want to buy the sketch he rejected. Do you have the tracing? And I said, well, I have the tracing paper transfer of it too. And like, I want to buy that. Like, people who are completists want to have the sketch. They want to have the.
Yeah, I completely understand.
And in my first art book or second art book, and I think I actually have it here. There's a guy named J.M. Dragunas. He's pretty big on Instagram, a great dude, and a backer of my books. I don't know if he bought a head sketch. Maybe he did. But when I announced on Instagram that I was going to be throwing out this tracing paper transfer right here for one of my paintings, he's like, I want it. How much can I buy it for? So I have, like, courtesy of him, in this book when I finally got it to print. But yeah, people want to buy all this stuff because it's all physical. You know what I mean? Mousy, great to see you, by the way. Sorry if I've missed anybody coming in here, but it's, this is what it's about, guys. You guys know Comic Gate. Most of us have been here for years. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
We should throw out to the chat the idea that I DM'd you before the stream.
Oh, you sent me an idea? Shit, I missed it maybe.
Yeah. No, you liked it. You just forgot. You just obviously clearly didn't use in one ear, out the other, I suppose. Here's the idea. Someone said it in the chat at the time because we were speculating.
Oh, wait. Yeah. No, I know. I remember that. Yes.
We were speculating what we're going to do with this, because I thought, well, there's that compiled version thing that Phil has, but I think that's probably more of a book 3 thing. And plus, I don't know if I like the idea of a small version of this. I think it needs to be big.
Yeah.
And we agreed. I mean, I can easily do a print. That's not a problem. And a big print, an A4 size print. So as large as the hardcovers. But then someone said, what about a dust jacket? Well, there's 2 hardcovers. And I wondered, how are we going to do that? And I thought, you know what? Well, it's already kind of in 2 as it is. What if the dust jacket, the Waking Dream is the top one, top half, Painted Death is the bottom half, and so if you lay them down together, they make the entire thing, and it would be huge.
Yeah.
And that could be a stretch goal to because I already did the stretch goal for the soft cover, and someone said, "Hey, what about the hard covers?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll think of something." So that could be the hardcover stretch goal is dust jackets in that of your art. So yeah, I think I like that idea. I've got to
how I roll, man. Like, when it comes to doing these things, my rule with the people that I work with is, my rule is I can put this stuff in my art books, my retrospective art books, but my rule with the people who hire me to do shit is monetize the shit out of it. That's it. However you can, because this, we've talked about this. Paintings are very labor intensive. When someone says, what do you want to do for your next book? Something that's worth how much time I've put into Nosfero. Like, this book, it means a lot to me, regardless of how I put this. I care that people enjoy this book because that's what it's made for. It's made for their enjoyment. But there's nothing in this book, Nosfero, that is, it's not about me working my ass off and really putting my soul into it. And I'm proud. Like, if I was hit by a bus tomorrow, I'd be like, I made this book, and it's this thing that I wanted to see. And so whatever I do for my next book, it's got to be worth it, because I don't know how many paintings I have in me, So when
Yeah.
I do something for Razor Fist or do something for you or any of these folks, and in hell, even what I did for Snuggy Jr. with a bookmark, it was a perfect opportunity that was presented because it was a chance to paint my brother Rob's characters. That's how I saw it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because I'm going to go in the ground with and this the physical artwork that I don't sell is something that my kids can have so that they can say my dad this is something my dad labored over, like it's a carved bench or something. Do you know what I mean? It means something to them. And they've watched me do it. It's what took time, necessary time because you're working away from them. My gosh, Mouse C with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Mouse C, for the late night crew and all we get up to. God bless you, Mouse C. Thank you so much. Let me send a cheerleader your way. And I appreciate your support, my friend. Really,
Charge!
Hail. Right on. Yeah, man. We love this stuff. Yeah, Lucent tarot cards. Guys, if I haven't said it enough on stream, is I'm all in on the Lucent. There it is. I'm into this stuff, man. It's like and the same thing goes with Battle Brick Road. I was walking around with my ball cap. Anybody, by the way, who got those patches for Battle Brick Road who hasn't gotten a hat of their choice and super glued that on the patch, it's great on hats, man. It's a brilliant thing on hats. Actually, Jim Cox was shout out to Jim Cox was talking about Ethan. You got to make an all caps logo patch that would fit on a cap because so many of us want to wear our own ball caps and we'd love to have that all caps logo. I'm a big fan of that, man. Hail Jeremy Burt's great to see you, my friend. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's like I just love Lucid trailer is 6 as Mike loves tacos. Yeah, or likes tacos.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is. It's I like, to me, the quality aspect of stuff is so important. And I think if there's one thing that I really respect about the people that I roll with, like at this particular point, like I was listening to a really interesting interview, Joe Rogan's podcast, where he's talking to Ice Cube. And it was, he had great, insights into this. KSSS, it's great to see you. I was walking around with my ball cap view. Thank God he said cap. Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things where Mr. Monkey Boy 1969, great to see you, man. I watch him and it's just his work ethic and his focus on excellence. And I was listening to Joe Rogan talking to Ice Cube, and they were talking about building their own stuff, like his 3-on-3 basketball league, half court league that he's starting, and what he's dealing with, and how people are against independence. And Ice Cube was talking about what his experiences were with it, and Joe Rogan's podcast and all of this stuff. And I just thought, I like being around smart people who are trying to make stuff happen, and the people who get them, the people who get it, that this is something big that we got to be a part of. And I was like that with Image Comics. I was like that with a lot of indie publishers, Ninja Turtles, and even indie toy companies when they come on the scene, because there's great stuff being made by people who really care and are invested in it, man. And yeah, happy birthday, KSSS. It's great to see you, and thank you for the birthday wishes. God bless you. The groomsman, there you go. Map time is a treasure. Indeed. Yeah, it is, man. Yeah. I mean, it's I can't think of a better crew of people to hang out with, because we make things happen. We make great stuff. It's so exciting. Like my office is an absolute shit show. I just want to be real clear about that. This is just like, it's piles of books and art and things I'm working on. But I just look across the room and I can see my Ripiverse box from when I got sent ISOM is sitting over there. Like, I've got all this different stuff. Ooh, something to share, eh? Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh,
Page spread.
Get on that, folks. Yep. Mythic Legions. Thank you. I love Mythic Legions. That's one of the things I was looking for. Yes, by the Four Horsemen's Company. That shit's amazing. Indie creators. Yeah, dude, that is. Come on now. Come on, son. You got to know why I love it.
This is Gilgamesh's journey. Gilgamesh is from Mexico, but this is Gilgamesh.
That's right.
Different.
Shout out
vinyl
Mexican Iron Man.
It's good
Yeah.
to see these pages
Antoine.
coming together.
He's got it. I love that page, Bancroft. Hell yeah, man.
Thank you.
That's what it
yeah,
is.
Yeah. So these are the first couple of pages of the book. Gilgamesh arrives. There's the boat. The infamous boat.
Love it.
Gilgamesh
It's got some great lines.
Urshanabi. Yeah, I love the and the actual sayings. I mean, I've rewritten it 100 times to kind of fit in with how I want it. But you know, the actual sentiments expressed. Actual sentiments expressed are directly from the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
So yeah, and people might wonder, well, how does this fit into the story? That's the mystery. That's the fun. Now, the Gilgamesh journey is thematically, you know, aligned with the rest of the story. You know, he goes off on his journey, and that's, you know, that reflects a lot of the other stuff that happens in the rest of the book. But this character here, we recognize him. He was in the first book at the start, 1700 years ago, and he's still kicking. He's showing no sign of slowing down. And now he's building big temples. And we get.
Have you ever? So, are you familiar with the show Friends?
Yes.
Remember when Monica and Chandler got together and only Joey knew?
Yes.
And then gradually every character got let in on. I feel like I'm like the second rung of people let in on the relationship now. What this book is. And it must feel good to not suffer alone, but now I'm suffering. I'm waiting for people to get it now.
Yeah.
Because it's awesome. Love it. Yeah, guys,
I'm looking forward to people sort of getting a better handle on what this all is. And as each book goes on, they, you know, more of that is revealed. And this timeline, this ancient timeline, gets closer and closer to the present day timeline. And that's when events and characters converge, and it's going to be massive. It's fun to do this stuff. It's cool
awesome
to see it come together.
Yeah. My motto is with all of this stuff, guys, and I want this, everybody in the chat, like, say this to yourself whenever you get a chance. I tell people, don't tell me what's probable, tell me what's possible. You got to be in a possibility mindset. This is so insane when we look at this stuff, guys. You guys back this stuff, but before you even back it, we are taking such a leap of faith for art. Isn't this wonderful? Look at this. It's like this is willed into existence by a collection of individuals coming together to make artwork of the people, by the people, for the people. It is a beautiful thing, man.
And let's keep supporting it, lest this art doesn't perish from the earth.
Absolutely right, man. Absolutely right. As a community of free people and industrious people, we will live forever or die by Minecraft, to paraphrase Abraham Lincoln. And so we must continue. We must continue. Yeah. Gosh.
He does. Yeah, and that's my take on the story. So in the actual Gilgamesh epic, they're actual literal scorpion men, which are apparently a bit like angels of their day. And I thought, well, that doesn't really vibe with what I'm trying to do here, which is this, like, in myths and legends have been exaggerated. The true story is still interesting, but a little bit more grounded. And I thought, well, why don't I just make these monumental kind of warning statues? It's like, you know, don't go any further. This is danger ahead of here. And it's actually a hidden passage through a mountain, underneath a mountain, actually. And that's from the epic. He has to travel all this way under the mountains to be able to get through to this hidden place where Utnapishtim lives. And I like it. What I've done is, this is the kind of cool stuff you can do as you color and stuff. So I have him. He's he's big, he's strong, he's healthy. He's got kind of, I mean, he's graying a little bit, but he's kind of brownish hair. After the cave, it's white. Like he comes out of it with white hair. Because it's just like, I don't know how long it is. I think he's down there for like a month in the pitch black, just going forward. And I couldn't say, you can't say all this stuff because it is a comic, it is truncated, but in the actual epic, he's like, for all this time, he just had to keep moving forward. He couldn't see behind him and he couldn't see back, and it was just, you're just walking forwards. And imagine what that would do to you for weeks in this endless tunnel that you didn't know. And I thought, you know what it would do? It would emaciate you. And the first thing this guy says is, Unapishtim says he has a sunken face. He's gaunt. And so this is sort of all a bit of a metaphor. It's like the journey will be hard. It will be full of danger, and you won't know how it's going to end, and it's going to take a toll on you physically. That's where we are here.
People of the chat, let me say this, and this is important, right? Mike has been working on this book for a very long time. I have been working on Nosfero for a very long time. Listen to this. Look at the smiles on our faces when we talk about this and the passion that we have after all this work, because that's the fire that keeps us going, guys. We streamed for an hour and a half, which I call a failed attempt at an hour stream on Mike's channel. We're back at it again, back at it like a bad.
We didn't have enough. It wasn't enough time.
3 hours.
We all felt it.
That's right, man. We did not have enough, man. It's like, and that is what we do, guys. That is what we do. So, guys, we're at 2 hours and 51 minutes. It's 4 in the morning here, so we're gonna wrap up. Mike, stick around. I want to say, hey, man, and just have some closing thoughts, guys. Hit that like if you haven't already, guys. Thank you for hanging with us this crazy hour. There's going to be more Waffle Lodge insane late night streams because we're getting there, man. We're getting there. I feel since I put the date of closing the campaign, I don't know why, man, but it really was like a weight off my shoulder. You know what I mean? It was just like, I was just like, oh my gosh, So yes, indeed, Hiromi, thank you so much for being here, man. I appreciate it. You guys are the best. I'm going to play us out with our channel members. I have not updated it lately, so it'll at least have everybody who's a channel member. I don't know who all is still a channel member at this point, so hopefully everybody's in it. Thank you guys so much. And as always say, guys, speak easy, stay gold, keep the faith. Michael, what thoughts have you got? Any closing thoughts for our awesome cats?
Check out tomorrow. I'm going to get back to the art share. It's been 2 weeks since I've done it, and I'm really looking forward to sharing some of the cool stuff I've found. That'll be tomorrow at 9 p.m.
All right. Excellent, guys. Be there. Check it out. We will see you guys soon, and everybody have a great evening, and thank you guys so much. Take care.